How's it going, guys? Today we're here to watch the Adelaide versus Brisbane game. It's probably one of the biggest games of the round so far. We've seen a lot of upsets so far in this round. Probably the only teams that have been favourites who have went on to win is Port Adelaide and Essendon last night, and probably Collingwood this afternoon. They're in front and doing pretty well against North Melbourne. But today, we've got the Crows up against Brisbane. Big clash for both sides. Crows were very poor last week, but other than that, have been pretty good this season. And Brisbane were pretty good last week in the Q Clash, and are definitely performing very well this season so far. If the win today for Brisbane comes along, they'll be equal. They'll be equal second on the ladder with Port Adelaide, and I would assume Collingwood will go on to win this game today, so they'll be equal second. But if the Crows get up today, they'll actually be getting themselves back into the top 8. And so it's a big game for both clubs, really. If the Crows want to push for finals today, they push for finals this season, they have to really go outperform well in this game today. I'm tipping Brisbane in this one. Sorry, I'm tipping the Crows in this one, sorry. I tipped the Crows. I think it's going to be a really close game. I think this will be set up right in the beginning here from the Crows. They'll respond from last week, and I think they'll win. It'll be a very close game, though. So that's my predictions for this one. Late change, though. Brodie Smith is out, replaced by Ned McHenry. And the subs are Madden for Brisbane and Parnell for the Crows. Charlie Cameron at Adelaide Oval obviously was at the Crows in their grand final year in 2017. Obviously didn't win and has moved up to Brisbane, being very good this season. Charlie Cameron. We'll see how he goes today. So the siren has blown. Game is in readiness at Adelaide Oval, and the game has begun. So in the middle, McInerney gets the first tap of the night. Goes down to Lockie Neal, good handball, gives off to McCluggage, who gets a little kick away, goes up and under, no distance on it. Thumped away there from McKenna, goes to McInerney, and then Ashcroft spills out to him, kicks it forward. Murray gets a little tap on it, doesn't get much other than that. Danaher tries to grab it, then fumbles, unfortunately for him. Laid on the ground, always a ragged dog in there. Holds it in, and it'll be a ball up. So on top of the 50 here in Brisbane, McInerney gets the knockdown, gets tackled well there, Dunkley. Can't really get an effective disposal away. Spills out to Lockie Neal, who kicks it towards the top of the goal square. It bounces in front of Gunston, can't grab it. Well done there from Duday, controlled it well. Gives it off to Malera, who just has to get a clearing kick out of the defensive 50. Keys in a 2-on-1, but Andrews thumps it out of bounds. And locks it in for the stoppage here for Brisbane. So Gunston's gone. Duday's gone to Gunston. It looks like Murray may have gone to Danaher at this stage. It looks like Butts will be going to Hipwood at the moment. I would be assuming. Back in the ruck though, McInerney thumps it forward from the ruck. Got a good 20 metres on it, which was good to see. McElhaney did nicely over the top to Malera, and now Scholl, little underground kick, wasn't the best, but Keys did nicely with it, playing against his former side. Kicks it up and under towards the wing, but a thumped away there from McInerney. Thumps it out of bounds. So McInerney started well, it looks like, with the first few taps in the ruck. Got the first 3 clearances, the Brisbane Lions. They're looking good early. Umpire lobs it in once again. No one really got the tap down. Murphy coming through. Didn't get an effective handball. Stolen by Dunkley out to Coleman. He goes forward. Good spoil there from O'Brien, but only goes as far as Zorko. Gives it off to McCarthy, who goes inside the forward 50. Not the best kick. Did well Danaher to cause a contest. Malera's back there first, off to Murray. Little nice kick in short and fires Lockie Scholl. That went about, I think 10 metres, but the umpire gave him a little bit of a reprieve there. So at half-back, it's Lockie Scholl on the outer side. Kicks it long down the wing to a pack of players. O'Brien's his hope. Can't get up there. Walker gives the contest, which was good to see back this week. McCluggage gathers it, though, to Coleman. And now McKenna running forward here for Brisbane. Going inside the forward 50. It's a poor kick. Murray misses the spoil, though. Running back is Cameron. First one back. McLeany grabs him and tears him over the line. It'll be a forward stoppage here for Brisbane. They've had the territory early. They've already had 5 inside 50s here, the Lions, in the space of just under 2 minutes of playing time. Matthew Nicks looks a little bit concerned early. Brisbane have definitely started off nicely. So umpire lobs it in. Good tap down there from McInerney. Goes to Cameron. Cameron decides to keep it in. McElhaney did nicely. Not cramming out of it. And then Scholl kicks it out of the defensive 50. Long kick. Andrews from 3 deep thumps it down. McCluggage just couldn't gather it and it rolls out of bounds. 55 out from the Brisbane goal. Started off very nicely, Brisbane. Big crowd at Adelaide Oval tonight. Last game of the round. Last game of the 2 Sir Doug Nicholls rounds. Both clubs want to be wanting to get this big win. Lachie Neale jumps on top of Keys. Umpire's circling, but he gives him a reprieve, balls it up. Michael Annie's got the big job on Charlie Cameron today in the tap down. O'Brien knocks it down. Dawson just can't get an effective handball away. Zorko soccers it forward and Danaher takes the mark. Bit lucky there for Brisbane, but they get the luck that they deserve. Joe Danaher will have the first set shot of the afternoon. Just couldn't get an effective handball away there, Dawson. It was a good tackle from Zorko. And then Zorko, the magician that he is, just soccers it off the ground. Finds Joe Danaher. He's been good this year, Joe Danaher. Probably in all-Australian form. He doesn't really like these close set shots. He comes in and absolutely sprays it to the left. We're about 25, 30 metres out. 45-degree angle. He has sprayed his lines. Poor kick there from Joe. He should be doing better from that distance. But it's first score of the afternoon. Out go the Crows with support again from Harris Andrews. On the ground, great tackle from Laird on McCluggage. Ran after it, did well there, Laird. And now the Crows can go forward. Rochelle over the top to Fogarty. He's got some space. About 80 out from goal. Sees the lead there of Rankin. It was a poor kick though. Lester cut it off. One on there from Keys to cause a contest. Rankin breaks out of trouble. Rochelle over the top to Keys. The handball was poor. Pedler on the ground. Gets a high one. And the umpire gives him the free kick. And Dane Sorko gives him a little bit onwards. Had the shoulder down Luke Pedler, but he also had his head down over the ball, so it was always going to be a high free kick. And for the dominance the Lions have had in the first few minutes, the Crows look likely to get the first goal of this game. Just the Crows on the counter were too quick there for Brisbane. It's always been a little bit of a concern for the Lions. Their defensive structures at times, and there it was really easy to cut through the Brisbane structure. Chance here for Luke Pedler to get his first for the Crows. So Luke Pedler comes in, 25 metres out, not much angle to speak of, hooks it a little bit, but he does hold the line, and the Crows have the first of Sunday twilight football. Straight down the other end there, the Crows, after a poor kick there from Joe Danaher. They've got the first of the afternoon. In the other game, by the way, Collingwood have a 27-point lead, 47-20, early start of the third term. Crows get there first, good start. Luke Pedler's been pretty good this year. Came into the team as I think it was his first or second game. He was a second gamer, I think, when he came in round 1. Was suspended throughout the year. I think it was around 6 or 7. But he's been very good for the Crows. Back in the ruck once again. McInerney again just thumps it away. Keys gets a handball, not too effective. Rayner comes through nicely. Kicks it long inside the forward 50. 2-on-2 here. Danaher against 2 actually turns out. Gunston at the back. It's got a time. Snaps towards goal. Jack Gunston hits the post. He's running away from goal there, Jack. He had time to turn. He just didn't want to. He had Will Ashcroft on the outside as well. I think he had the license to go for it, but it was a poor finish. And it's another score for the Lions. Should have done better there. Mark Laney's got the kicking duties here for the Crows. Runs out about 15 metres to the right-hand side and goes long. Coming across was Dawson. Just couldn't get his hands to it. Comes to the ground under the legs there from Dunkley. Wasn't paid. Play onto the call now. Wilmot over to Neale. Great pressure from the Crows, but the Lions get out through Dunkley. He goes long inside the forward 50. 2 Crows go towards it. Weren't talking. They didn't talk that out there. They probably should have. Thumped towards the boundary line and Michael Laney takes it over. So Worrell is the in for the Crows this week. Don't think Jordan Buss is actually in the team. That's a good call from me. Moron. Oh no, he's in the team. I don't know what I'm talking about. So back in the ruck. McInerney knocks it down. Neale just couldn't glove it. Then coming through with Scholl, he started okay early. Over to Worrell, the inclusion. Goes down towards the wing, but he's kicked it out on the full. So Daniel Rich, the inclusion for the veteran Lion, back in the team this afternoon. He'll be able to drive it back inside the forward 50. Honestly, he's just outside his distance for him. He decides to drive it long again. Up goes Joe from 3D. Couldn't bring it down. McInerney wasn't impressed by that, to be honest. Coming down there was Saligo. Got the handball out. Nice to McHenry. And now Michaelani puts it on the opposite boot. And he has a kick to 2. Well, Coleman cuts it off. Got a couple of short options. Kitty Coleman decides to go to Gardner. Lions are locking it in at the moment, but the Crows have the only goal of the game so far. So now Gardner drives it long towards the top of the goal square. Gunston tries to get some space. 1, 2, 3. He's claimed it. He hasn't got it though. Worrell tackles him well. Across over the top was Chase Jones. I don't think you can pay that as a mark. It was a good effort. He did try to fool the umpire, but the umpire wasn't having it. It's about 20 metres out straight in front of goal here. Lions have had all the momentum in forward, but the Crows have the only goal. McInerney takes it out of the ruck. Gets taken down. Sloan almost in the back of Neil. Diving in there still. Goes back over the top there at Sloan with the football. In fact, it was Dunkley. It'll be another ball up. Looks like Sloan may be going with Dunkley at the stoppages. O'Brien out the back. Ashcroft somehow gets boot the ball. Coming through was Rayner. Breaks past 2 tackles. Eventually fumbles it. Worrell out to Keys. And now Duday sprints away from Gunston. Gets the kick out to the defensive 50, but it's turned over once again. The Lions are locking it in. Wilmot takes the mark. About 55, 60 out from goal. He's got McInerney against O'Brien at the top of the goal square. That's where he's going once again. It's a pack of players. Up goes Rayner from 5 deep. Can't bring it with him. It's socket out. Joe doesn't have a right foot. Snaps across his left and he's missed. Had no right foot there, Joe. He had space on the right, but he decided to come back on the left and he couldn't bring it back. Another behind the Lions. They've kicked 3 points already. They have dominated the early parts of this game. So now Worrell has the kicking duties here for the Crows. Comes out of the goal square. Good defensive move to get an easy disposal. Goes long down the wing to a 2-on-2. Gardner from the back thumps it forward. Dawson couldn't gather it. McCluggage goes down. Gets good tackle there from Saligo. Be another stoppage. Still 13.5 minutes to go in this first term. Crows have the only goal. Brisbane have dominated. McInerney thumps it forward. Chase Jones gets it on the gather. Well on there from Ashcroft to cause the pressure. Now McInerney can't gather it too much. Still tapping it around in there. It's just someone's trying to thump it forward. Eventually spills out to Saligo. He gets the handball out the back. Good job. Chase Jones gathers it nicely. At half-back, kicks it down the wing to a 2-on-1. But Kitty Coleman does nicely. Good mark from Coleman at half. Just on the wing. He's going to drive it back inside the forward 50. I think Brisbane need to find a little bit more of a method going inside other than the long kick. Up goes Hipwood from the side. Can't bring it down. O'Brien. Underground handball was nice to Duday. And now out to Saligo. Here go the Crows. Dawson has the football. He goes down the line, but it's another shocking kick. Coleman cuts it off. He goes into the middle of the ground, finds Bailey. Here's his first touch of the afternoon. Goes to Rich. The booming left boot for about 65 metres out. Thumps it all the way to the goal square. Will it get there? The bounce is nice. And Daniel Rich, in this week, has boomed it from 60. And the Brisbane have the first goal of their afternoon. What a bomb from Daniel Rich. Poor manning up there from the Crows. They left Daniel Rich all on his own in the middle of the ground. And look, I didn't think he had this distance in him, and he didn't really. He hit the line. No one on the line there for the Crows to block that one. The ball was trailing towards the goalpost. Got a nice little bounce, and it will be a nice start here for the Lions. They do deserve that one. Eric Hipwood good on the line as well to shepherd that one through. Daniel Rich had a few touches early. He's looked good. It's been a wet week in Adelaide, but it's been pretty good today. Back in the ruck, though. It's McInerney and O'Brien. We're going at it all day. Not really a definitive tap down. O'Brien gathers a good tackle there from Dunkley. Drags him down. Still in the middle of the ground. McInerney just missed the tap down, but gathers the ball and gets the clearance. Goes towards the forward 50, gets out the back, coming through his Hipwood nicely, just left it behind. Eventually dives back on it, does nicely. Zorko gives it out to Berry. Probably got a high one from Dawson, plowns the goal. Ashcroft, great tackle on Pedler. Still got the handball out, which was nice. Miller, a great little dance step to get out of that trouble. And then Michaelani goes to half back, good kick, finds Lockie Scholl. He's had a few touches early in this one. Goes out wide to find Ben Keys, former Lion. Back to Roy Sloane, sorry. Goes in short front to Miller. So now Miller, Crow's going through the middle of the ground. It's a dangerous kick, but it's a good one. Finds McHenry. Came in this week, came in as the late inclusion. Goes out wide, good find. He finds Rochelle. Been quiet the past month or so, Rochelle, but had a really good start to 2023. So on centre wing right now, the Crows can go forward. First time they went inside the forward 50, they kicked the goal. Here we go again. Thilthorpe goes up, can't get the hands to it. McHenry on the ground does nicely, gets out the handball to Rankin. Doesn't really have many options, so he just handballs it in haste. Then Dunkley kicks it out of there, does nicely. Coming through was Danaher. Good pressure from behind, but eventually gets off the handball to Ashcroft. And out of the lines are away through Rayner. Has time when really no one else has in this game so far. Great kick towards their forward 50. Finds Lincoln McCarthy. About 70 metres out. He doesn't have the Daniel Rich boot, but actually finds Rich. He's about 65 metres out, accidentally played on. Goes out wide. It's a poor option though. Lockie Scholl cuts it off and the Crows are coming on the counter. Now he finds Rochelle in the middle of the ground. He's got a short option in Walker. Was rested last week, which is a little bit contentious. He goes long to the one-on-one. It's Rankin and Starskovic. Starskovic did well to get back. Rankin's still fighting for it. May get away a free kick here, Rankin, and in fact he has. So a free kick will go to Harris Andrews. A little bit poor there. The Crows had the numbers in that contest, but then they just threw out Harris Andrews, and they'll get a reprieve here, the Lions. So Andrews decided to go long down the outer wing to a one-on-one. O'Brien did nicely to bring it to ground. Laird gives it out to Jones. Now Jones drives it back inside the forward 50 of the Crows. Andrews has it. But Fogarty takes the mark. Great mark from Fogarty going back with the flight. Thought Harris Andrews had that all day, but he somehow plucked that out of midair. And Darcy Fogarty, tough angle for him, but he's one of the best set shot kicks in the comp. Here it is again. It was actually Fogarty who gave away that free kick a little bit earlier, which was definitely a high one. But a chance now to give their team a little bit of a reprieve here for the Crows. And from about 3 inside 50s, the Crows could have 2 early. It's taken a long time for Darcy Fogarty to come on, but he's came on in the past year. A chance now to kick his first. From the pocket, if you don't mind, I think he's just missed. You're better than listening to Kelly Underwood. I would appreciate that, but she is so bad. I appreciate that, man. How you doing anyway, Raylene? So looks like Brisbane going to switch it across to the other wing here. Dunkley just couldn't gather it. Good pressure there from Rankin. Got back on it nicely. And now Laird inside. Great handball over to Fogarty. Does gather it. Tried to get the shrug off. Eventually got out of the tackle from Gardner. Gives it into Scholl now. Rochelle. Little dance step. Can't get past. Pedler coming through. He can't break the tackle of 3 Lions. Well done there from Wilmot. Leicester. Up and under ball. Really wasn't a good effort. Now thumped away from the Crows. Starskovic eventually grabs it and kicks it away. Long kick. Umpire calls play untouched. Going at the back there was Duday. Good pressure there from the Lions. Coming through was Butts. Good tackle there from Bailey. Locks him in. And it'll be another ball up. Crows had an opportunity there, but just couldn't get that one extra handball that they needed. It's back in the ruck. Sloane taking the ruck duties here for the Crows. Danaher gets it and clears it long to a one-on-one. Good support there from Murray towards the boundary. It won't get there though. Butts and Hip would run after it. Gets out to Lincoln McCarthy. Breaks one tackle. Does nicely. Handball was poor though. Went to the ground of Lockie Neal and couldn't grab it. And it goes out of bounds. Thought they were away there, the Lions, but the Lincoln McCarthy handball was absolutely atrocious. The Lions started well early. Crows done well to actually keeping this contest in the moment because they've absolutely dominated the first few moments. Now Danaher takes it out of the ruck, drives an absolute bomb towards the goal square. Rayner didn't get to take that mark. He almost did, but just dropped it at the crucial stage. Goes through for another behind for the Lions. Now we have seen throughout the weekend that if you miss your opportunities, it can cost you. Carlton. So at the moment, the Lions may rue to miss these chances early. It's only early days, though. The Crows will kick it out of the defensive 50 to a long one-on-one. Thilthorpe, great lead, took the mark. He kicks it inside. It's a great kick to Rochelle, who's found a lot of space early in this one. Has some time. Decides they're going to do the full switch over the top to McHenry. He's got Miller over the top. Eventually gives it to him. Wasn't a good handball. Went to his toes. He has to run back after it. Very good pressure. It gets it back Miller somehow to McHenry. Now he has some time, kicks towards the forward 50 Keys, picks it up on the bounce, gets it out to Pedler, and now Murphy. He's always a good ball user, Lockie Murphy. Goes to the top of the goal square, it's a one-on-one, it's going to get out the back. Oh, what a spoil from Starskovic. almost took that mark there, Branken. He looked like he had it every day. But it was just a spoil in time there from Starskovic to stop that goal. So Daniel Rich will have the kicking duties here for the Lions. 7.5 minutes to go in this first quarter. Rich will go out towards the commentary side with a long kick. Up goes Hipwood. Can't get there. Well done there from O'Brien to bring it to ground. Miller, he's done okay. Knocks it out of bounds. Sorry about that, guys. I had to pick up that call. But Rayner just kicked a brilliant goal. I'm actually a little bit annoyed that I didn't get the call up because that was actually a really good goal. He skipped it from about 50. But a great goal there for the Lions. They've got their second, and they deserve a pretty good lead at the moment. They've only got an 8.1, but they deserve a goal for that. Great finish there from Rayner. As it happened, he took on the contest at the top of 50, ran to about 55 metres out, absolute tumble punt off the left boot that skipped and rolled and went through for a goal. It was an absolute floating mung that somehow found the middle of the big sticks. Matthew Nix is not happy. Clutching at his head, but there was no hairs to grab onto. So, unfortunate there for the Crows. Brisbane definitely... They have settled a little bit, the Adelaide Crows, but Brisbane have definitely had the better of the first quarter. Back in the ruck. McInerney knocks it down. Keys, gone in the middle tonight. Now Laird goes to ground. Good pressure from Ashcroft. Keys, that was really smart to kick it out wide, but probably was ill-directed. Now McHenry running back onto it. Fumbles at the crucial stage. Taps it through his legs, but then it goes out of bounds. Good pressure from the ex-captain in Dane Zorko. Oh my. So back in the ruck once again. Still 7 minutes to go in this first quarter. O'Brien knocks it down. Laird comes through. Jackie Chan kicks it forward. Only goes as far as McKenna. Does nicely. Bailey had to turn back into trouble. Did well, but then McKenna drops it. That should be gone. Play onto the call. Keys off the ground. Bailey stops it from there, and then the hairball just out of the grasp of Ashcroft goes out of bounds. Should have been a free kick to the Crows there. McKenna absolutely threw that ball away. There was great pressure there from Murray Laird. Oh, that's not a kick. I hate when they say, oh, he kicked it. That's his toenail. Bro, that's not that should be a free kick to the Crows. But anyway, back in the ruck. O'Brien knocks it down. Keys gets the gather. Can't really get the handball away. Good pressure from Lockie Neal. Then going on the ground is Ashcroft. Somehow scooped it out of there. Bailey got taken high. That'll be a free kick. Had his head down to grab the football. Not always a well-liked free kick from the fans, but it was there. Goes out wide, finds Dane Zorko. He started off nicely. Wheels around on the right boot and goes long to the pocket. 2-on-2. Rayner in the front. Can't bring it down. Gunston tries to break one tackle. Good tackle there, though, from McHenry. And gives him a little bit more to go on with it. Obviously, Gunston was actually... First club he was ever at was the Crows. Played a handful of games for them. Then went to Hawthorn and had a massive career there. In the stoppage, Zorko handballs it forward to no one in particular. Just tries to get to a little bit of territory. Now, on the ground here is Cameron. Runs through the stoppage somehow. Charlie Cameron kicks his first, and that was poor from the Adelaide Crows to let him get through that. There were so many players around that ball, and somehow he broke through everyone and kicked a pretty easy one from the goal line. As it happened, it was just handballed forward by Zorko. It was ill-directed, but it was just enough pressure here from the Lions. A broken tackle there from Saligo. No one on the goal line for the Crows to stop that run. And an easy-as-you-like goal for Charlie against the old side. Poor missed tackle there from Saligo. He'll rue that one at the end of the afternoon. And Charlie Cameron gives a little bit of a rev up early. Revs the engines up and he's got his first. Currently the leading goal kicker for the small forwards this year, Charlie Cameron. He's been brilliant. 29 goals, 4th in the Coleman, equal with Oscar Allen, who honestly would probably be leading Coleman if he wasn't playing for the West Coast Eagles. Back in the ruck, though. McInerney knocks it down. Only as far as Dawson, who gets a little handball out to this Laird. Poor handball, though, from Laird. Cut it off there by the Lions. Now McCarthy drives it again back inside the forward 50. Rayner out the back. couldn't get there. Spoiled well there from the Crows. Goes to the forward pocket. Rayner gets onto it. Good tackle there from Miller, and it takes him out of bounds. The Lions look on at the moment. The Crows need to start getting into this one because that was poor handball there from Laird. Trying to go over the top of Zorko when it was it wasn't really the option. It was going to be cut off 9 times out of 10. Currently, Brisbane have already had 17 inside forward 50s. Crows have only had 6. McInerney thumps it forward. Scholl should have grabbed that one. Then eventually gets back onto it. Dawson jams it on the left boot. Gets a good 50 metres onto it. Coming through was Lester. Did nicely to bring it to ground. On the ground nicely, though, was Scholl. Gives it back to Miller. Doesn't have too many options. Gives it back to the captain. Dawson thumps it down the wing. To a 2-on-1. Phil Thorpe goes up. Good contest he gave there. On the ground was Keys. Gives it off to Murphy. Murphy, nice handball forward. Good find. It was McHenry. McHenry's kick, not so much. Does find Rochelle on the ground. It was a great glove. Now goes long with the 1-on-1. It's Saligo and Cameron. Cameron got back. Good pressure. Good play there from Charlie. Gets back onto it. Now, great tackle there from Saligo on Daniel Rich. He'll drag him down. It'll be a ball up. Great work from Charlie Cameron to get back there. Saligo would have been running into an open goal. But Cameron, from forward pocket all the way down to the defensive pocket, did really well to cause a contest. Back in the ruck. Phil Thorpe knocks it down. McInerney just tries to handball forward. Now Berry punches it towards the boundary. It will stay in though, so it won't be deliberate. Scholl handballs it back to Chase Jones. He thumps it towards the top of the goal square. Up goes Pedler. And O'Brien can't bring it with him. Coleman just thumps it away. And it gets as far as Lincoln McCarthy, who sends an inverted torp towards the outer wing. And Zorko just sockers it forward. They're just trying to get a little bit of territory here, the Lions. Butts on the ground. Good pressure there from Hipwood. But now Jones gathers the football. And the Crows take a breath in front to Dawson. So everyone takes a little bit of a breath here. The Crows looking to switch it though. Michaelani has some time. Good kick inside. Finds McHenry. So McHenry's got Worrell on the left. Good handball. So the Crows just moving it from side to side. Trying to get the Brisbane defenders a little bit off guard. Out to Rochelle. Rochelle's been good early. Goes long. Phil Thorpe's on his own here and takes the mark. Great play from the Crows. They had a chance there, the Lions, to lock that one down. No one really had an arm on Phil Thorpe. Had an easy run and jump at it, and that was really good football. That was a great kick from Rochelle, and that was good football from the Adelaide Crows. They missed Phil Thorpe and Walker last week. He kicked 34 goals in 34 games, Phil Thorpe. He's had some on and off nights. Can he be on tonight for the Adelaide Crows? He comes in, 25 metres out. Tough angle, but he finishes nicely, and the Crows get their second, and he calls the fans up here at Adelaide Oval. Good finish there from Riley Philthorpe. And despite Brisbane's absolute dominance in this first quarter, they only lead by 8 points. So currently at the moment, leading disposal getter on the ground, it's Lockie Scholl. He's been brilliant so far with the 10 touches. And leading disposal getter for the Lions is Dane Zorko with the 6. Just trying to check the other game as well. Collingwood lead by 34 points over North Melbourne, 24 minutes into the third quarter. That's the score so far in the other game. But Brisbane's dominance has been key so far, but they still only hold an 8-point lead. Great goal there from Phil Thorpe. Back in the ruck. O'Brien knocks it down. Neil almost threw that out. Spills out to Laird. Now out with Dawson. They're working backwards here, the Crows, but eventually Chase Jones gets some space. He drives it long towards the 50. Up goes Phil Thorpe! He actually marked that. Play on's the call, though. Over the top, here's Keys. Oh, no, it was paid as a mark, so it can't be play on. Funny thing is, I think it came off the back of Starskovic, but they paid the mark to Phil Thorpe, and you can't take advantage off a mark, so he's going to have to take a shot from 50. It was a brilliant leap. I don't know if he marked this. I mean, they usually pay those. What's going on with Rankin? He's going so well, but fallen over in the last 2 games. 50-metre penalty here is going to go to the Crows, though. Looks like for arguing there from Starskovic on the man on the mark. But thing is, though, because that's poor from the Lions, because he was going to take a shot from 50 longer than that, which was, not exactly a given. Very hard from players 50 metres out to get a goal. And now he's got a goal on the goal line here, Phil Thorpe. The Crows get theirs third, and now they're right back in this one. I don't really know what's wrong with Isaac Rankin. I think maybe he just started the season so well that maybe he... For that? That's bullshit. Oh my god. The amount of times that happens throughout a game of football and they pay that for a free kick. That's ridiculous. I mean, it's not needed from Harris Andrews, but it's not a fucking free kick downfield. That's such a fucking ridiculous free. Nonetheless, the Crows get their third, and the Lions have not taken their chances at this stage. Why do you have him in your fantasy team, bro? You got to get rid of him, surely. Get Ben Hobbs, I'll tell you right now. Get Ben Hobbs. He's only going to be 600k. Save up some money, get him this week, because you got 3 trades now. Back in the ruck, though. Knocks it down there to O'Brien. Laird gets the clearance. The Crows are starting to fire here. Oh, Starskovich drops an absolute sitter. Speaking of Isaac Rankin, 40 metres out. He's hooked it to the left, and he's lucky to score in the end. Oh, there's a bit of fight in this one. McKenna gets a little bit into Rankin there. Should have kicked it. Should have kicked that one, though. So, Kitty Coleman will take the kicking duties here for the Lions. Plays on. Gets a good disposal out of that one. Kicks it long towards the commentary side wing. Up goes Danaher. Can't get up there too far. Worrell on the ground. Probably went out. Play onto the call. Kicks it forward. Keys will get there first. Good gather. Gets it out to Lockie Murphy. Left footer on the left pocket. It's going to be hard. He centers it though. It's a good kick. Up goes Berry. Play onto the call. An umpire's decision's been paid. And Lester gets the free kick. And he gives a little bit onwards. I think it was the Fogarty there. Pointed at him and shouted at him there. There's a little bit of fire in this one early in the first quarter. Lester goes out wide to a one-on-one. Dunkley brings it to the ground and go out of bounds, though. So as it happened, Fogarty pushed Lester into that contest. That was dangerous, actually. That's very dangerous from Darcy Fogarty to push Lester into that. So he deserved the free kick, 100%. Back in the ruck. O'Brien gets a little tap down. Coming through was Neal. Like a bolt of lightning. Unfortunately, the handball was ill-directed. Dawson out to Jones, and now Laird gets the kick towards the forward 50. Was not the best kick, but somehow got to Rankin. He dropped the easy mark. Lockie Murphy, usually a better kick than that, rolls towards the forward 50. Coleman eventually puts it on the boot. Drives it towards the middle of the ground. Up goes Rankin Badude with great spoil. Lions are all on the ground, though. McCluggage goes out wide. It's a dangerous kick, but Lockie Neal makes it look okay. Minute and a half in this first quarter. Lockie Neal's got some space on the wing, goes in short. He finds, I think it's Josh Dunkley, it is. Dunkley takes them up, wheels around on the right boot, goes to the pocket, just gets over the top of Berry and rolls out of bounds. So about a minute and 15 to go in this first quarter. Lions up by 1 point, despite their absolute dominance with territory. Crows have done actually pretty well in the past few minutes to get back into it. They've currently had 19 inside 50s for the Lions to the Crows only 12. Back in the ruck though. Lions have a stoppage inside the forward 50. O'Brien gets a little tap down. Coming through was Dawson. Left it behind. Now, McCarthy from the pocket. Check side kick. Goes. Oh, try to go over the top with the kick there. Oh, but Cameron coming through. Great tackle there from Michaelani. And it spills through for a behind. That was great goal-saving defence there from the Crows. Michaelani's been a revelation this year for the Crows. Just couldn't get the boot to ball there, Cameron. Probably should have been holding the ball in the end, but spilt through for a behind. They've left a lot out there in the Lions in this first quarter. 5 behinds from 8 scoring shots. And the first couple of entries inside the forward 50 were pretty poor. But Dawson goes long with the kick. Rankin drops a pretty easy mark. Spills out the back. Gardner eventually fumbles it out of bounds. So on the broadcast side, 40 seconds to go in the first quarter. No team would want to concede a goal late here. Crows would be absolutely thrilled to be this close early. They already had 20. The Crows, to their credit, though, have had a really good defensive pressure. Already 22 tackles. Online for nearly 90 in this game. McCluggage tries to get the clearance. It was poor, though. Great smother, though, from Dunkley on Dawson. Spills out to Saligo, though. Now Laird bombs it long. Great body there from Ryan Lester. He started okay on Fogarty. Looks like there's a bit of rain coming down at Adelaide Oval. I don't know. I've looked outside. It doesn't look like it's raining too much. He goes long, though. 2-on-1 here for the Crows. Gets out the back, though. McCarthy gets tackled without it. Play onto the call, but he does get the free kick again. And then McCarthy gives Miller on the side a little bit of a follow-on. The rain is belting down at Adelaide Oval at the moment. But McCarthy wheels around on the left boot, goes long to a 1-on-1. But Michaelani, he's dropped the mark. But, it's actually Worrell. But no more time left in the first quarter. Time runs out for the Lions. But this could be a close one tonight. I did call this one as maybe game of the round. We've had some close ones so far this week, but at quarter time, Crows 3-3-21, down by 2 points, 3-5-23 to the Lions. Could we see another close one in round 11? Alright, let's bring up statistics now, guys. Friday night footy. Alright. Hello, Butters. Alright guys, there are the statistics for quarter time. Leading the ball winners on the ground, Lockie Scholl, Rory Laird and Jordan Dawson all with the 10 touches. Then we have Ben Keys with 9 and Rochelle with 8. And if the AFL fantasy watchers out there, we have Dawson with 44, Laird with 40, Rochelle with 34, Scholl with 31, and then Riley Thilthorpe with the 30, rounding out the top 5. Currently in the other game as well, I'll quickly check. Yeah, Collingwood are up by 52 points now, so they're going to run away with it, which we all thought was going to happen, let's be honest. We weren't exactly expecting that North Melbourne were going to win this one. Jordan De Goey's had 29 touches, kicked a goal, so he's playing alright. Playing okay. No, he's doing well. Oh, you got away from me. Alright, back in a sec, guys. we're back. Sorry, guys. Just had to do something quickly. Players getting back into position, though. But Brisbane absolutely dominated a lot of that first quarter, but the Crows stayed with them. And with a team that's as good as Brisbane, maybe you can't dominate many parts of games, but the Brisbane Lions left a lot out there in that first quarter. Ba-na-ba-na-bum, ba-bum. Ba-na-ba-na-bum, ba-bum. Ba-na-ba-na-bum, ba-bum. Ba-na-ba-na-bum, ba-bum. Ba-na-ba-na-bum, ba-bum. Ba-na-ba-na-bum. Nothing wrong with Rangan, he's a key player. He has had a couple of poor weeks, though. The second quarter is about to get underway, though. Second quarter is underway now. From the ruck, McInerney thumps it forward. He's been doing that a lot tonight. And he goes as far as Pedler, who did brilliantly. Breaks past one tackle and kicks it long. In fact, it was probably Dawson thinking about it now. But anyway, he goes forward. Starskovich taps it towards the line. This is going to be deliberate. Rankin keeps it in, though. And from the pocket, Luke Pedler goes towards the top of the goal square. Fades late, though. And goes through for a behind. So Daniel Rich will take the kick in here for Brisbane. He started off pretty nicely for the Lions. Decides to go towards the outer side. Goes along with the kick to a 1-on-2 here for the Lions. Harris Andrews did nicely out the back to well to Dunkley. Now Wilmot goes to running forward. The kick wasn't the best. Sat on Hipwood's head. Butts at the back. Oh, God! That was unlucky there for... I don't know what Wilmot was doing. He tried to grab the football. I think he got pushed into it. But he hit butts high. 100% a free kick. And then Worrell coming off half-back. Poor kick. Turns it over. Dunkley gives it to Bailey. Still holding his hands out, so that was good. Now Dunkley drives it long towards the forward 50. And alone Cam Rayner takes the mark. Had a few options in short, but I think Cam Rayner should take the responsibility himself. He's already got one this afternoon. And in the shadows of Adelaide, a chance here for Cam Rayner to get his second and give his side a good 7-point lead. Somehow got out the back, Cam Rayner, all by himself. He's been good this year. He's been started at half-back throughout the start of the year, but they've moved him to his preferred position and up forward. He may not get as many touches as he was getting at half-back, but this is an opportunity to get his second. Cam Rayner kicks towards goal. It's holding that left goal post, and he's actually hit it flush. So that's a behind for the Lions. Another behind. They've already kicked 6. We saw the Crows and Richmond this afternoon have opportunities, and they couldn't capitalise. We saw the Carlton early in the round have heaps of opportunities against Sydney, but wasted them. Leicester pumps it back inside the forward 50 for the Lions. 2-on-1 with Joe Danaher, and the two-fister from Duday thumps it out of bounds. So 18 minutes or so to go in this second quarter. Pretty early start. Crows have definitely came into this game, but the Lions being the better of the two teams. Crows are doing really well at the moment not to get blown away. And they're holding strong, which is good to see from a team that's trying to vie for a top 8 spot this year. In the ruck, though, McInerney knocks it down. Coming through is Rayner like a bull. Eventually gets onto it, which was very good. Takes a couple of bumps. Snaps towards goal. Cam Rayner, top of the goal square. Was held there almost. Danaher play onto the call. Duday can't gather it. Gunston gets tackled by 2 Crows. Michael Laney was nice over it, but then eventually spills out of bounds. I had to look at that one again, but Joe Danaher may have been held off the play, or maybe he was playing for the free. Joe Danaher has done that in the past. Nonetheless, back in the ruck. McInerney out the back was smart. Bailey just couldn't gather it. Saligo breaks past one and kicks it out on the full, though. And a chance here. It's either going to go to Zorko or Cameron in the forward pocket. Either of them is a dangerous option, no matter where they are inside the forward 50. And the umpire has decided to give it to, we'll wait for it, Charlie Cameron. He's already got a pretty good goal in this game so far. But Charlie now a chance here to kick his second. In the right forward pocket, former Eddie Betts pocket, snaps towards goal. Charlie Cameron hit the belly of the ball, goes out to about 25 metres out. Rayner gives a contest, he'll hit the ground. Rankin gets the football nicely, gives it out to Miller, dodges past 2 Lions and he's away. Gives it off to Butts, he drives it long to a 1-on-1. Phil Thorpe can't gather it. Fogarty just thumps it forward, but a free kick has been given to Phil Thorpe, so he'll take the ball back. About 75 out from goal. Phil Thorpe looked good early. He's giving a little bit of a worry through the Lions camp. Oh, short kick was poor though. Bailey, good pressure on the ground. Lockie Scholl puts on nice pressure on McCluggage. May have sat on this McCluggage. Eventually gets the ball out. Phil Thorpe tries to gather it. Lockie Neal wanted it more. Now Miller sits on top of him and it'll be a ball up. Crows have been good with the defensive pressure. That's really locked him in this game so far. O'Brien will tap out to Miller. He's been good. Gives it out to Worrell. He thumps it back inside the forward 50. One-on-ones everywhere. Andrews drops the mark. Gets back onto it. Good tackle there from Phil Thorpe. Drags him to ground. It'll be another ball up. Well done there from the Crows to lock it in. Oh, my neck. About 25-30 out from goal. Taylor Walker takes the ruck duties inside the forward 50. Taps it down. Rankin couldn't gather it. Almost in danger there from Keys. Kept it going though. Fogarty from the pocket. Snaps! Just over the too far. And goes out of bounds on the other pocket. A little bit more rain coming down at Adelaide Oval at the moment. I only live like 15 minutes away, but I don't really see much rain coming down at the moment. So I don't know if it will stay or not. A lot of wind at Adelaide Oval though. You can see a flag in the background fluttering towards the commentary side wing. In the ruck, no real ruckman gets to it. Rankin leaves it behind. Lester just handballs it away and somehow gets to Wilmot, who drives it long towards the wing in a one-on-one. Gunston and Duday, good contest that one. Eventually trickles out of bounds. And the Lions get away with one there. Crows looked good there, but just couldn't find an opening to find a goal. Early second quarter. Dunkley's gone to Dawson at the stoppages, it looks like now, which is a really good matchup between them two. Back in the ruck, O'Brien gets a little tap down. Coming through there was Pedler, and he's been held. He'll get the free kick here, Luke Pedler. He's gone a little bit midfield time in the last few weeks, and he's actually looked okay in there. Has a little bit of a... Oh, he dropped the ball though, Pedler. And now Lions converge. Rich can't gather it. Good tackle there from Dawson. Dunkley gets tackled well, and it'll be another ball up. I don't know what's happened there with Pedler. He's went to go kick the ball, then didn't do it, and then fumbled the ball. He's holding his left hand at the moment. He's got some sort of issue. Maybe that was why he fumbled the football. Little tap out to the back of the stoppage. Keys comes through, kicks it forward. Left behind, though, from Lester. Out the back was Fogarty. Lester fights hard. Fogarty was better. Handballs it inside Isaac Rankin. They find some space through Taylor Walker. From 20 metres out, snaps the goal. And the Crows take the lead for the first time tonight. Great finish from Taylor Walker. Great work there from the Adelaide Crows to find the free man. And Adelaide take a surprising lead. Great work from the stoppage though. Keys just got it forward. Lester will want that ball back again. He ran under the ball too much. Left the ball behind. Fogarty's fight was good. Rankin could have gone for goal. Saw the handball of Walker and an easy as you like finish. So the Crows get the first of the second term. Great fight from Fogarty. Lions will rue that chance. That was poor. And a great finish there for the Crows. It was missed last week against the Bulldogs. That was very surprising for a lot of people, considering I think they got West Coast in the next few weeks. And also a bye coming up as well. But Ben Keys is playing a lot of time in the midfield here for the Crows tonight. Back in the ruck. McInerney knocks it down. Coming through was Laird. Can't get the hands free. Good tackle there from Neal. Somehow spills out to Sloan, and now Chase Jones has the football. Kicks it down the wing. Bailey and Saligo on a one-on-one. Saligo got to the football. Kicks it inside with a little smart dribbler. And now McHenry grabs the football. Kicks it inside the forward 50 to a 2-on-1. Berry should have marked it. Just thumped it towards the boundary line. And Rankin puts in a little bit of pressure to Starskiewicz, which was kind of strange. I don't know. I mean, that's more than what Fogarty got in the first quarter. And he got a free kick for it. But anyway. Not that I think that's a free kick. I'm just saying. That's exactly what... I mean, Fogarty got less than that in the first quarter and they got 50 for it, the Adelaide Crows. But nonetheless, back in the ruck. Free kick's been pulled out here and it's going to go to Brisbane. Starskiewicz gets the free kick. And Rankin gives it away. So Rankin, for all that push and shove, gives away a free kick. So it looks like they're going to switch it to the Lions. Crows have definitely started this second term the better team. So Rich in the back pocket. Doesn't have too many options. The Lions have just switched the play but have no one to go to. And so it looks like they're going to switch it back again. But the kick is woeful. And it's gone out of bounds. Won't be deliberate because it was a skill error. But Daniel Rich has to make those mistakes very often. So the Crows lock it in. Are you a Crows supporter, Raylene, are you? So back in the ruck, though. Another player's been put down behind play, and it will be a free kick to... It's either Keys or Rochelle. I think it's Ben Keys. And there's a little bit of spice in this one. Sorry, it is Ben Keys who gets the free kick against the former side. He would love one tonight. With the hair slicked back, Ben Keys. Been pretty good since he came to the Crows as a delisted player. Ben Keys comes in, kicks towards goal, leaves it out to the left-hand side, and it's through for a behind. Kind of rushed a little bit there, Ben Keys. Probably should have taken a little bit more time on that one. And Lockie Neal was not having it. He was very angry after that play, but the Crows only a point to show for it. Rich, you'll know he'll take a little bit more territory on this kick, but it's another poor option. He's turned it straight back over. Isaac Rankin reels around on the right boot, has three men everywhere. Taylor Walker's one of them. He takes the mark. So the Lions looking a little bit tentative in this second term. The Crows have definitely came with a little bit more spice in this one. Really poor kick from Daniel Rich. He started this game well, but the last few times he's just wasted it. Gave up really, I mean, that wouldn't have been a free kick to Ben Keys inside the forward 50 if it wasn't for his poor kick. And this one, he's turned it over, and Taylor Walker has a chance now to kick his second. So Taylor Walker loves these sort of kicks just outside the forward 50. Kicks towards goal. Looks pretty good. Will it hold the line? It does. Taylor Walker's got his second, and the Crows have their second of the second term. Came back into this one, the Adelaide Crows, and they take an 11-point lead. Currently, in the other game, Collingwood lead 92-46, so they've doubled their score. So Collingwood are going to win that one and take outright first spot. But Brisbane, if they lose this one tonight, will be back within the back in the pack, as they'll be third on the ladder, but not very high up, but won't be locking in that fourth spot. How good are the Crows playing? They're playing very well in the second term. First quarter they started off pretty poorly, but they've locked it inside their forward 50. They've done very well so far. A little bit of spice in this one though. A lot of bumping and shoving around. In the ruck, McInerney thumps it forward as he's done all night. Bailey gets great hit there from McCarthy on Laird, just puts him down. And then going forward here is Joe Danaher, dropped the mark. Rayner ducks out of the tackle. Good tackle though from Chase Jones. Could be in trouble here, Cam Rayner. Umpire gives him a reprieve. Coming off the stoppage there was Lincoln McCarthy. Good fair bump on Rory Laird. Wasn't high or anything in that one. And then Cam Rayner just took the tackle from Chase Jones. But the Crows out of the stoppage. Sligo out the back. Goes with a long kick. Rochelle will get there first. Gets it on the bounce. Taps it out towards himself. It doesn't have too many options to go to. Looks inside. Eventually decides to kick it down the wing to a one-on-one. Fogarty. Good sport from behind from Andrews. And eventually trickles out of bounds. Still 13 minutes to go in the second term. Crows have done brilliantly so far in this second quarter. Already kicked the 2 goals, have an 11-point lead. Brisbane have actually had some pretty good record over the Adelaide Crows at Adelaide Oval. The past 4 attempts, the Lions have won. The Crows are a different team now. Phil Thorpe thumps it forward. Coming through was Dunkley. Can't bring it with him. Wilmot with a handball out the back, but no one in particular was directed to. Saligo, handball smothered. Now coming through was Bailey. Did nicely to McCarthy. And now Rayner to a 2-on-2. Danaher coming back with the fly. Can't bring it with him. Good play there from Worrell. Coming through was Chase Jones. Got tackled well there from Bailey and Hipwood. And it'll be a ball up. About 25 metres out from the Brisbane goal. Pretty much straight in front of it. Phil Thorpe and McInerney will do the ruck duties. Taps it down there, McInerney. Worrell dancing through and looking for a handball option. Didn't have one, so eventually just thumps it towards the boundary line. Good kick and good play there from Fogarty to take it out of bounds. Who was your favourite Crows player? I don't know if you should ask me that because I'm part of a whole Port family. I like the way Jordan Dawson goes about it. That's because he used to be a Swans player. From the stoppage, Ashcroft gets the handball forward. Now Duday just sockers it towards the boundary line. We'll keep it in though, Phil Thorpe. And then eventually it just trickles out of bounds once again. So another stoppage here. I do like how Rory Laird goes about it though. I think he's one of the best midfielders in the comp. Back in the ruck, Phil Thorpe gets a little tap down, did nicely, coming through with Zorko. Great pick up in the conditions, but then didn't have an option. He got tackled by Murphy. Should be pinned. And I think he got he didn't get hold of the ball. Oh, that's a shocking decision. Zorko had an option to handball, and he decided to drag it back in. That's shocking. Oh, that's crap. Anyway, thumped out of the stoppage was McInerney. Worrell gets back to it first. Good tackle there from Rayner. Takes him down very carefully. It'll be another ball up. A couple of more stoppages in this second term. Tap towards the boundary line and we'll get another stoppage. So about 55, 60 out from the Brisbane goal. In the ruck, McInerney's been good all night. Couldn't get a handball away too effectively. Dunkley out to McKenna. Gets a little kick forward. Great tackle from behind from Laird on Zorko. And now the Crows cause the turnover. Rochelle dancing through players. Gets it out to Dawson. And now Worrell has some time. He's been good in this game so far. Good kick in short. Finds Rory Laird. So now Laird goes in short on the wing. Good find. He finds Saligo. So now Saligo's been pretty good this year. Goes long towards a one-on-one. Harris Andrews and Fogarty. Fogarty just blocks the space out the back, but Coleman gets there first. Dances past Fogarty with relative ease, and then kicks it into Harris Andrews' back. Now Pedler just thumps it forward with a spoil, only as far as Leicester. He leaves it behind, though. Coleman, great pick-up. Has some time. He's always pretty clean, Kitty Coleman. Kick out wide was good, but good pressure from behind from Worrell and Cameron. Gets out to Bailey, breaks past two Crows, then slips over. Then gives it back to Berry, has some time and space. Kicks it down the wing to a 2-on-1, and the Crows get it out of bounds through Duday. Great effort there from the Adelaide Crows. Still 11 minutes to go in the second term. Heaps of time to go. Umpire whips it back in once again. Phil Thorpe probably got a little tap down there. Coming through was Dunkley, was stronger over the football. Then Zorko kicks it straight up in the air. Good pressure there from the Crows, and Murphy just dropped the mark. Play onto the call. Now Jones thumps it forward on the ground. Walker leaves it behind. Pedler coming through. Was held there from Coleman. Should have got the free kick, and he does. So Luke Pedler gets the free kick about 60 metres out from goal. 65 out from goal, more like it. He's been good in this game so far, Luke Pedler. Looking for options, doesn't have too many to go to, so he decides to drive it long to a 2-on-1 here for the Crows. Gets out the back. It's Saligo and Rankin. Rankin grabs the football from the pocket. Can he whip out something special? Great pressure from Starskovic. Pins him holding the ball. He looks pretty dangerous at the moment, Isaac Rankin, but great pressure from Starskovic to take him down. Oh, the kick is terrible. Turns straight over. Keys snaps towards goal. He deserves the finish, and he does. What a terrible kick from Starskovic. Missed every Brisbane player in the middle. Ben Keys turns around and kicks the goal. Had a chance earlier in this quarter to kick one against his former side, but he does it there. What a terrible kick from Brendan Starskovic. He did so well to cause the turnover, and then the kick was woeful. I want to see who his option was. We'll see who it is in a minute. So the kick in was to Berry, who just awkwardly left the ball. The kick wasn't good, but Berry got flat-footed, then left it, and then Ben Keys just nailed it home. Poor kick, but the Crows now have a 17-point lead. The rain is absolutely teeming down at Adelaide Oval at the moment. I'm here and I don't see any rain outside, but that's just me. Back in the ruck. Danaher's gone in there to give him a little bit more run. In the stoppage, though, Dawson gets it out of there. Coming through is Coleman. He just soccers it forward. Gets smothered, though, on the ground. McCluggage leaves it behind. And Pedler sprinting out of there. Does nicely. Kicks it towards the forward 50, but great body there from McKenna. Takes the mark on Rochelle. Lions just need to settle here. They're not playing these conditions very well at all. Haven't had too many wet weather games this season, the Brisbane Lions. In fact, I don't think they've had any. Great pressure there from Rochelle. McKenna just has to kick it up and under ball. And coming through there was Dunkley. Couldn't bring it with him. Shouldered well. Wilmot handballs it out wide. Great tackle there from Laird on Dunkley. Takes him out of bounds. Brisbane Lions just haven't worked to the conditions at all. They're not really a wet weather footy team, to be honest. I wouldn't expect them to be that good in these conditions. But I don't think the rain's going to really stop at Adelaide Oval tonight. Back in the ruck. Danaher gets a little tap down and Daniel Rich just thumps it forward off the ground. On the ground, though, was Duday. Couldn't bring it with him. Dragged it in, though. Could be in a bit of trouble. Rayner gets out of there somehow. Prags past the tackle of Dawson. Gets the hands out. McCluggage was taken without it. Should get a free kick. Play onto the call. Jones gets it out to Scholl. And he gets tackled well from Dunkley. And the umpire gives them the ball up. Should have probably been a free kick to the Lions there, but the umpire saw otherwise. Back in the ruck. Danaher looking for the free kick, didn't get it. Tapped out there from O'Brien. McCluggage has some time. Handballs a little underground ball to Rich, who just jams it forward 40 metres. Gets a bad bounce there. Hipwood gets out the back, butts. Has time to give it to Duday, who gets tackled well here from the Lions, and they're away here if they can get it out. Neil has some time. Handballs it inside to McCluggage. Handballs it out the back. That was a bad air ball. Dunkley does well to make it look okay, and Lockie Neal, the kick inside was poor. Butts drops a sitter. Bailey on the ground can make the Crows pay. He misses, though, to the left. Right. Sorry, right. Crows are a little bit lucky that the Lions tend to have been missing quite a few. They've already had 10 scoring shots. Crows have only had one more, but they lead it by 14 at the moment. Catching past to call that out in the chat. So Miller will take the kicking duties, goes long, tight ropes the line, but actually holds it pretty nicely, and Murray takes the mark. Be really good this year, Nick Murray. Drives it long towards the wing to a one-on-one. Rochelle and McKenna get thumped down, and the Saskevich just kicks it forward. Who gets in front? It's Miller. Just left it behind, but he will get the free kick. So Miller will take the free kick here for the Crows. Looks like they're going to switch the play. Goes in across the ground, back inside their defensive 50 to Butts. He works it across to Jones. Has no options on this side of the ground, though, Chase Jones, so he has to wait for his teammates to give him an option. Player does, though, which is really good to see. It was actually Worrell. He's been really good tonight, Worrell. Oh, it's actually Michael Annie. Nonetheless, Michael Annie's had a good game as well. He plays on, though, goes long with the kick to a one-on-one. Dawson gives him a great option. It's a great mark. Turns around on the left boot and drives it inside the forward 50. Rankin going back with the flight! Oh, that was dangerous. Great courage, though. They paid the mark! That was not a mark. That was a brave mark. That was a brave effort from Rankin. I mean, he deserves a shot at goal for the bravery, but it wasn't a mark. Anyway, Isaac Rankin in the forward pocket here to give the Crows a game-high 22-point lead midway through the second term. Isaac Rankin snaps around the body. He loves these sort of efforts. He's hooked it too much, though. And it's through for another behind for the Crows. So Daniel Rich will take the kicking duties for Brisbane. He's had a poor second term. So he just tries to drive it long. Hipwood goes up, gives a contest. Miller on the ground, can't bring it with him. Duday tackled well there from Hipwood, and Danaher will be a ball up. He paid a mark, though. That's what... I don't even think it was a free kick, to be honest. I think it was just a good contest. But anyway, nonetheless. Umpire balls it up. Players converge on the football. Be another stoppage. Six and a half minutes to go in the second term. Rankin's got a little bit of a limp up. O'Brien gets the tap down as far as Lockie Neal. He needs to lift, though. Gets the handball out to Ashcroft, who again also needs to lift. And Coleman gets it out wide to McKenna. Got it off the ball there. Coleman play onto the call, though. McKenna goes out wide. Another poor kick. And he just goes out of bounds on the outer wing. That's another poor play from Brisbane. They've looked shocking in this second term. Absolute 180 of their first quarter. They played brilliantly. In this second term, they just haven't accounted to the conditions. Chris Fagan writing down something on his notepad, probably to say to lift these Brisbane players and they start kicking the ball properly. Because this has been a woeful second quarter. Crows arguably should be further in front. O'Brien handles it out the back to Scholl. Got heaps of time to get some more scoreboard pressure to Crows. Laird back to Scholl. He's been good. Has O'Brien with a handball option. And now Chase Jones. Breaks past Zorko. Gets the handball away. Sloan, in fact it's Dawson, gets it out to Lockie Scholl once again. And he drives it long towards the 50. Up goes Coleman and Pedler. Pedler gets a touch on it. And Rich is more than happy to see it go out of bounds.
Still just under 6 minutes to go in the second term. Crows have been dominant, but good spoil there from Coleman to get it out of bounds. Back in the ruck. O'Brien just takes it out of there and takes a bit of a run there, the big man. Handballs it out towards Laird, but there's not enough tarmac left and it rolls out of bounds. Back in the ruck again. Riley O'Brien thumps it forward. He's been good in the second term. Coleman tries to get the kick away. Smothered well. Dawson out to Michael Annie. Gives it to Lockie Murphy. Back to Michael Annie. Just couldn't get the hands to it. And then tackled well there with Zorko from Dawson. Another stoppage inside the forward. 50 here for the Crows. 5.5 minutes to go in the second term. Crows have been really good. Great pressure has been put on from the Lions. And they really can't sustain it at the moment. Umpire throws it up once again. O'Brien will tap out the back, coming through with Starskovich, couldn't bring it with him. Then Murphy just trickles out of there. Rankin kicks it towards goal. Good spoil away there from Andrews. Berry didn't glove it. Good tackle there from Laird. Brings him to ground. Umpire circles, but eventually pulls it up. It's going to be a good game. It's been pretty good so far. Both teams have had their moments. The Crows have actually taken their opportunities. The Lions didn't in the first quarter. Back in the ruck. O'Brien gets a little tap out the back. It's a good tap. And then Rankin from the pocket. Don't tell me! Oh, Isaac Rankin! You beauty! He calls it his own pocket. And he's got the Crows' 7th goal of the game. What a finish from Isaac Rankin. They're on fire at the moment, the Adelaide Crows. And Rankin, on the opposite foot, snaps an absolute beautiful goal. Taylor Walker loved it on the boundary line. And the fans in the pocket loved it as well. I don't think many goals. I don't think Eddie Betts got many goals from that pocket Adelaide Oval. He got a lot more from the other 3. But he gives a high five to the kid in the crowd, Isaac Rankin. Great finish. He's been a little bit up and down tonight, but he's actually looked quite dangerous. And he's got his first of round 11 for him. Crows have been on fire. Have kicked the last 6 goals of the game. And put the Lions right on the ropes at the moment. Still 5 minutes to go in the second term. Lions need a lift. Riley O'Brien knocks it down. Coming through with Sloan. Veteran. Really good player. Long kick. Shelley should have marked it. Eventually gets back onto it though. The traffic passes him. He has time. Gets it out wide to McHenry. He's got Chase Jones on his right. He's just looking forward though. He's looking for an option. Dawson tries to give a block for Thilthorpe. He goes to the pocket. Will it stay in bounds? No, it doesn't. Goes out on the full. Oh, he's paid it! That was out on the full by at least half a metre. So Darcy Fogarty from the pocket. Brisbane wouldn't want any other player would want any other player other than Darcy Fogarty to kick this ball. It goes across the face and it's through for it behind. Footy gods are there. That was not in bounds by any stretch. Hang on, here it is again. That's out on the full by half a metre. Shocking decision from the umpire, but nonetheless, he just didn't get it. McHenry diving in, does nicely, gets out the handball, goes to Jones. He runs back onto it, then falls over though, which is costly, but then he's just happy to roll out of bounds. So the umpire lobs it in once again. Gets it down there, O'Brien. Coming through is Rich. Almost got a high one. Play onto the call. Gives it out to Bailey. Thumps it forward to a 2-on-1. Great mark there from, I think, Gunston. Was that not paid? Oh, it wasn't paid. Alright, maybe it was touched off the boot. Back in the ruck. McInerney knocks it down, coming through there with Sloan, just kicks it off the ground, but then only goes as far as Rich. He drives it back in the Lions forward 50 where it's been barren all quarter. Up goes Danaher, couldn't glove it. Then Hipwood, only his second touch of the game, goes out to Dunkley. Dunkley kicks towards the top of the goal square, one-on-one. Michael Annie just dropped it, then dove on it. Could be in a bit of trouble here. Gunston drags it back under him, gets out the back, Duday, and the umpire gives it a ball up. So top of the goal square for the Lions. To say they need a goal here is an understatement. Still in the ruck here, O'Brien and McInerney. O'Brien gets a little tap out back. Neil couldn't bring it with him. Dives back onto it. Play onto the call. Sloan gets out to Scholl. Scholl puts a little underground job towards the defensive 50. Gets out to Dunkley. Now Zorko. They could use a captain's goal here from Dane Zorko. You bet he does. Gives a little breath of life here for the Lions. Dane Zorko. Great finish. And the Lions get one back late in the second term. Just got a little bit of space here, which they really haven't had in this second term, the Lions. The Crows have been absolutely immense with the pressure. But Zorko found some space, and a goal there from the former captain, Zorko kicks the goal. Still time here for both sides to get another one. There's still 3 minutes to go, but that's a big goal there for the Lions. Against really a huge run of play. Back in the ruck. McInerney thumps it forward, but only as far as Dawson. He gets a handball out the front. Coming through was Keys, who got a kick off the ground. Great tackle there from Murphy on, I think it was Rich, and then it spills out from Bailey to McInerney, who thumps it towards the boundary towards their forward 50 as well. Duday just left it behind, and it will roll out of bounds. Still 2.5 minutes to go in the second term. Heaps of time for the Lions to even get another one back and really set the scores looking very flattering for them. It's pretty flattering at this stage. It's only 18 points when they've dominated the second term, the Adelaide Crows. Umpire lobs it in again. The rain has definitely slowed down at Adelaide Oval. In the ruck, McInerney gets a little tap down. McCluggage just fumbles it forward. Well, then they're from Zorko to tap it to Bailey. He kicks it forward. Coming through was Michael Annie. Good tackle there from Cameron. Get the handball away. Unfortunately there, Miller couldn't glove it. Eventually, McInerney just handballs it forward. Duday out to Saligo. Did very well to shake off the tackle. Kicks it towards the wing. Will it stay in bounds? It does. I don't think it matters. McKernan marked it anyway. It's just over 2 minutes to go. McKenna has some time and space. Drives it long towards the forward 50. Up go a pack of players. Danaher can't bring it down. Then off the spoil, the Scholl gets a scrubby kick away. Goes to Murphy, so it was nice. Murphy off the right boot. Probably should go back to the left from now on. Turns it over. McKenna goes in bounds. It's a dangerous kick. Zorko somehow marks it. He's lifted in the past few moments. He eventually goes around on the right boot to a 2-on-1 inside the goal square. Rayner can't bring it down. Gets out the handball. McInerney, little tap down. Coming through was McCluggage. Looking for a free kick. Didn't get it. Duday looking for the points here. The Crows. Cameron kicks the goal. How did Charlie Cameron get space? And the Lions, despite the Crows' dominance, are only two goals behind. Well done from Charlie Cameron. He's been well held today by Michael Annie. He'll be very disappointed that just spilled to Cameron, who had a little bit glimpse of space, and the Lions get 2 in a row. A minute and a half to go in the second term. Lions get a big goal late in the first half. Charlie Cameron loved it. He's done brilliantly in this game. He's been well held. He's only had 3 touches, but he's kicked 2 goals. So, I mean, he's definitely using his disposals effectively. Umpire hits it down again. McInerney, little tap down. McCluggage just can't glove it. Good pressure there from Sloan. Keys comes in. Could have got a high one there, McCluggage. Umpire gives him a reprieve. Be a ball up. McInerney thumps it forward. Cameron can't glove it. Bailey does nicely. McCluggage puts it on the boot going forward. Can he get there? Gunston, he can't. Good spoil there from Butts. It goes a good 20 metres, that punch. Now Dunkley coming through nicely. Handball was poor though. Berry had to glove it on the bounce, and then the handball over the top was poor again, and it goes out of bounds. Minute to go. Lions are very lucky they're only 2 goals down because the Crows have dominated this second quarter. O'Brien gets it down. Coming through there was Dawson. Couldn't bring it with him. Good pressure there from O'Brien. And it gets out the handball somehow to Neil. And then Rich gets an absolute torpy going 60 metres inside the forward 50. Going backwards Murray. Play onto the call. Gunston has some space on the left. Boom! Another one here for the Lions! No, he just misses. That was a big chance there for the Lions to only be a goal down at half time. Just misses though. Umpire brings it in. Murphy can't glove it. It goes out of bounds. Another miss. The Crows are a little bit lucky. The Lions have missed a couple in the second term as well. But it's only 11 points at the moment. Still 30 seconds to go. The Lions still have time. How you doing, Osho? What are you up to tonight? Back in the ruck. O'Brien tries to get the fist forward. Couldn't do much with it. Neil dodges around O'Brien. Gets the boot to ball. Going towards the forward 50. Cameron couldn't get there. Dawson tried to break the tackle. Was in trouble. McCluggage breaks 2 tackles. Does brilliantly. McCluggage kicks it forward. But out the back nicely there was Duday. Just watch the Pies game? I'm sorry, bro. Why did you do that? Duday in short finds Millerer. 7 seconds. Time will run out here for both teams at half time. Oh, God. That was a dangerous kick to Saligo, but he takes the mark. And at half-time siren sounds. This game could go right down to the wire here. It's been a good first half for both sides. Both of them had chances to take big momentum. But the half-time scores... At halftime, the scores are 7-7-49. The home team, Adelaide Crows, leaded by 11 points, 5-8-38 to the Lions. Alright, I'll just bring up the scores and then we'll go to halftime. The stats and then we'll go to halftime. Friday night footy. Yeah, Friday night footy. It's better than Thursday night footy. No, Alright guys, so at half-time, leading disposal getter on the ground is Jordan Dawson with the 16 touches. Probably been one of the Crows' best. Lockie Scholl with the 15, along with Rich, Keys and Dunkley rounding out the top 5. And then for the AFL Fantasy Watchers out there, we have 77 to Dawson, 70 to Laird, 59 to Rich, 58 to Keys, and then rounding out the top 5 is Josh Dunkley with the 56. Oh, you're a Pies fan. Oh. I was like, oh, God. Well, other than being a Pies fan or maybe a North fan, I wouldn't watch that game at all. But anyway, they won pretty well though, didn't they? Oh, 35 points. I mean, that's not a big win. It's a win, so that's what the Lions, the Pies will take, but still. Oh, Nick Larkey got 5 goals. What the fuck? Josh Dacos got 3 with 18 touches. Anyway. Alright, guys, we'll be back at halftime. We'll be back in the second half, sorry. G'day, guys, and welcome back to the Boundary Riders podcast. We're now up to episode 12, and we just completed round 10 of the AFL season. A big week of AFL, but of course, the big news had a brilliant last quarter. 8 touches, 2 goals. I mean, just a mid-season recruit. 2021, I think it was. He's doing brilliantly for Essendon, and he's definitely played some good footy this year. I know I saw him when he was in gather round down here against Melbourne, and he was brilliant, Sam Durham. But the 3 votes in this game has to go to Zach Merritt. He was brilliant, won the Dreamtime Award as well, had a lot of touches. And the thing as well that was brought to his game this year, which I think is so underrated, is his defensive attributes. A lot of the time he's been criticised for not playing on the defensive side, like not tackling, not putting in defensive pressure. But this year, he's done it brilliantly, and it really showed late in the game when Dustin Martin was running inside, almost to kick it inside the forward 50, and he got dragged down from Zach Merritt, and it affected the kick and caused a turnover, which got down the other end and got them a goal. So Zach Merritt got the 3 votes in this one. 2 votes I gave to Jordan Ridley. He played really well in defence this game. He was a big loss last week, and against Port Adelaide midway through, it did cost him. He's a very good defender, very underrated, and he played brilliantly in this one. And the 1 vote I gave to Shea Bolton. I think he has came into his form in the past few weeks. At the start of the season, I think he was a bit poor, but I think now he's starting to move into his role as that high half forward to almost midfielder at times. So I think whoever does take over the job at Richmond has to play him more midfield. I know he's probably more effective as a forward, but he does score a lot of goals for Richmond, but I think they just have to put him in the midfield. He's such a creative player with the football that I think they need him to get more touches. Next up, we get to the Q Clash, and this one was a bit of a close one, but again, Brisbane just tore it apart. And then in the last quarter, they kicked the last 6 goals of the game to beat the Gold Coast Suns by 43 points in the end. Lachie Neale won the Q Clash medal, and he was very good in this one. He's been a bit up and down this year, Lachie Neale, but he's played very well towards the end of this game, and he was definitely best on ground in this one. 2 votes I gave to Joe Danaher. He kicked 4 goals, and he's just going from strength to strength, honestly, Joe Danaher. It's probably the form that Essendon fans don't want to see, but he hasn't really hit these forms since the late times in those mid times in Essendon colours. And I don't know if he's worth the money he's getting, but he's definitely pushing a point that he is worth something, and Brisbane will be happy to see it. I think if Brisbane are going to win a premiership this year, he has to be in the best form, and he's definitely proving that at the moment. And the 1 vote I gave to Hugh McCluggage, played very well on the wing, got a few touches. He's not worth the 91 rating on AFL 23, but he's very, very good in this game. After that, we get to Hawthorn versus West Coast. This was a shocker. West Coast, and Hawthorn are not a 116-point better team than West Coast. This is embarrassing from West Coast. They can have all the injuries in the world. They should not be losing to the team who was bottom before this game started by over 15 goals. This is embarrassing for West Coast. And the thing is, they kicked the first goal of this game. So after the first goal of the game for West Coast, they kick 3 more for the rest of the match. That is atrocious footy, and they have to start looking at getting rid of their old guys and looking for draft picks or some players who are young outside who want to come to WA, because at the moment they're playing some woeful football, and Adam Simpson, his days, and if this was in 5 weeks' time, that game would have been his final game. I don't think they want to sack him just yet because it's pretty mid. It's still round 10, well, round 11, obviously, but round 10 when it happened. I don't think they want to go through the rest of the season with an assistant coach. So I think they're going to hold off for at least another month or 2. But if this was another month, if this was 8 weeks down the track, he would have lost his job. That was a pathetic performance, and it's just an embarrassment, as this is the biggest club in WA, one of the bigger clubs in the AFL, who are getting demolished by a team who's arguably fielding a VFL team half the time. So, woeful performance by West Coast. Well done for Hawthorn. I mean, they took what was out there and they pummeled them to the ground, and a lot of teams haven't been doing that this season. A lot of teams have left out, arguably 30, 40 points on the field when they've played West Coast, but they did the job and they took it out of them. In this game, Mitch Lewis had a brilliant game. He had 6 goals. He was brilliant in this one. He got the 3 votes. Connor Nash has actually surprised me, moving into the midfield from Sam Mitchell this year. He got the 2 votes, and the 1 vote I gave to James Sicily. He's done very well in defence and has been very good for Hawthorn this year. He has been very good for Hawthorn for the majority of his career, especially since he's moved back, and that's why they did pick him as captain. He's brilliant. He's a brilliant halfback, well, intercept defender. Next up, we get to the big game down at the MCG, which was Carlton versus Collingwood. Carlton, again, faltered at a crucial stage. They needed to play some hard football, and they simply couldn't bring it. They did have more scoring shots than Collingwood, and I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that they kept on kicking points, they kicked 7 goals, 15, and Collingwood kicked 13 goals, 7. You kick 15 points, you're not going to win many games if you're kicking only 7 goals. That's just a simple fact of it. Collingwood were more effective with the football. They were better on the day, but this is why I think, and we'll get into the tips a little bit later, that Carlton will probably win this week against the Swans. But they do show that they could get it in there. They just now need to kick straight. But anyway, best player on the ground, I think, by most people was Darcy Moore. Brilliant game from Darcy Moore. Intercept marking was coming off of Charlie Curnow and intercepting the marks, helping his teammates. He's been brilliant this year. I think that he's been one of the best players in defence and probably has locked down an All-Australian spot in the back six. I think that's pretty much a lock unless he gets injured. 2 votes go to Scotty Pendlebury. He's played really well this year. I mean, age doesn't seem to worry this guy. He was brilliant in this game, especially in the first 3 quarters. When the game was there to be won, he was just so calm with the football as always, like he always is. But it's just how great to see a guy who, was a brilliant midfielder for the majority of his career, being able to go to half-back because he's such a good ball user, just rack up touches and help his team. And the 1 vote I gave to Josh Dacos. He had a very good last quarter and very good game as well, but the last quarter stood out as well. I think that I have said this a few times on the stream, he's just been a little bit overshadowed by his brother. I think Josh Dacos has arguably he definitely hasn't had as good a year as his brother, but he's definitely been up there as one of their... I wouldn't be surprised if he's a top 5 in the BNF this year. He's played brilliantly, Josh Dacos. And, if he was playing for any other team right now, I think he'd be talked about a lot more. But finally, we get to the Giants versus St Kilda. This one was actually quite a close one. I watched the majority of the second half, and St Kilda just couldn't break away from the Giants. The Giants stayed with them. They did lose Harry Himmelberg and Nick Haynes in this game to injury. So if you lose your best defenders, I think Himmelberg's playing defence now. You're losing your best overhead marks in defence. You're going to struggle, but they seem to stay with the Saints for the majority of the day. St Kilda just pulled away in the end, and Jack has given the votes for this one because he watched the full game. He gave Jack Sinclair the 3 votes. He was brilliant as well. He played... Looks like now he's going to move into more of the midfield role, which I think is a good idea for him because he's just I think he is built as a midfielder. He did play off half-back, obviously, last year and got an All-Australian spot, but I do think that his midfield, that's his spot. 2 votes he gave to Brent Daniels. He was actually very good in this game. I saw a couple of moments that he had, and he kicked that goal in the 3rd quarter when he ran through 50 and Toby Green just gave off the handball, caused a turnover, got the handball and gave it to Brent Daniels who kicked the goal. He's very good in this one. And the 1 vote we gave to the returning Max King. He kicked 4 goals, I believe. And he was, very good. Bit surprising that he came back so well from a big layoff, but we'll see how he goes next week. Sometimes players, when they return from a big injury, they come back and play really well the first week, but then they just have a down week the week after. So we'll see how Max King goes there. But now we'll actually get into the votes so far for the year. So this is from round 10 to 1, obviously, and this is the current leaderboard. So at the moment, we have leading the whole AFL is Christian Petrarca with the 16 votes. After that, we have Zach Butters with 15. He's been brilliant over the past, I think, 6 weeks. In round 6, I did a leaderboard just to check. He was nowhere near the top. He wasn't even in the top 10, Zach Butters, and he's just shot up. He's done brilliantly. 3rd is Jordan Dawson. I was going to say Zach Dawson for a minute, but Jordan Dawson. He's been brilliant for the Crows. He was actually pretty quiet against the Bulldogs, so he didn't get a vote. But before that game, he's been in some brilliant form in the midfield. And I didn't really see Jordan Dawson becoming a midfielder because at the Swans, and not really when he was the Crows, because he's such a good ball user off half-back that, he's such a weapon coming off of there. But because he's such a big body, he's played some really good football in the midfield this year. After that, we get to Caleb Sarong. He's been very good for Fremantle. I think now that Brayshaw's coming onto some form, though, he may take some votes off of Caleb Sarong, which for him, I don't think he'll really care. But at the moment, he's sitting in 4th spot. After that, we get to Nick Dacos. He's on 12 points. He was at 10 on round, I think 6. So he's kind of dropped off in a bit of form lately, Nick Dacos. So, I mean, that's what he's going to happen with a young guy. Obviously, he has played a very good season, so people just forget about the fact that he's still 19. So, I don't think he'll win the Brownlow or the Ryder Award, which is more important. So, he's still sitting on 12 points. He's doing okay. I think he'll probably peter out towards the end of the season. May finish up on the 20 votes. After that, we get to Clayton Oliver with the 12 votes. I picked him at the start of the year to be for the Brownlow, but it looks like he's got a hamstring injury, which they haven't really specified how long he's going to be out for. They've said it's going to be for the short term, but that could be anywhere between a week or 4. So that's probably going to hamper his points. And now Petrarca honestly could take it away if he starts dominating in the midfield. So we'll see how that one goes. Next up, we get to Jeremy Cameron. Now, Jeremy Cameron had a brilliant start to the year. He was on top of the leaderboard at round 6, but now he's only got, I think, 1 vote since. So the last 2 weeks he's been hard. He's found it hard to score, and I think it's just the fact that because he's a tall forward, he needs to kick some goals, and he hasn't kicked them the past few weeks. So if he can hit some form again, they will have some more games down in Geelong. So obviously he'll have some games where they should dominate. So you would expect that he'd get some goals there, probably get some votes. He may finish around the 20 mark as well. After that, we get to Tim Taranto. He's been very good in the midfield for Richmond this year. He's got 11 votes. I know some people will question his ball use, and that's understandable. You need to use the ball well in this game. But because he is such a clearance player, if you think of a player like Paddy Dangerfield, he's never really been a good ball user, Paddy Dangerfield, but he always used to get the ball forward for Geelong or the Crows. So I think that's what he's going to be for Richmond, and I still think he's had a very good year, probably career best for him. Then we get to Noah Anderson for the Gold Coast. I think if he was at any other club right now in Victoria, or any other club in general, I think they'd be talking about him a lot more. Since the Tuke Miller went down with injury, he has lifted to a whole new level, and so has Matt Rao, but but Noah Anderson has just stood up, and he's one of my favourite players to watch. He's such a good two-way runner. He's definitely learned from his captain in Tuke to run both ways and play that midfield role. And I would love to see the Gold Coast, challenge for finals and make finals, because they do have some really cool players to watch, and they do need to be showcased more, but they just don't get showcased because they're playing for the Suns. And finally, taking out the top 10 spot is Lachie Neale with the 10 votes. Now, like I said, he started off the season quite slow, but he has came on, and you know how Lachie Neale can gain votes really quickly. We obviously won a Brownlow a couple of years ago, so Lachie Neale is definitely up there to take out the votes late. He's only 6th off top, and I mean, a couple of really good games in a row could really skyrocket him up the leaderboard. But at this stage, he's taken out 10th spot, and I won't be doing a leaderboard every single week because I want to do, at the end of the year, I want to do a count, like a vote count, like obviously the Brownlow, but less boring. Yeah, we'll be doing that like as a live stream. I think that'd be really cool. But yeah, maybe in the last couple of weeks, maybe even in the last 4 weeks, 4 rounds, I won't show the votes, and I'll just keep them to myself, so then the vote tally will actually be like really, really interesting, so no one knows. But yeah, if you guys want to follow the vote count, then just follow us over on Instagram, which is linked in the description. So after that, we will be getting to the tips, I believe. Yeah, we'll be getting to the tips. Now, yeah, like I said, Jack's obviously not here, but he has given me his votes, his tips, so we'll show them on the screen. But in the games we have coming up in Friday night is the Swans versus Carlton. This one's a big game for both clubs. If it wasn't for the fact that Sydney has so many injuries to their defence, I would be picking Sydney. But Carlton's game plan of bombing it onto the top of the heads of Mackay and Curnow will probably work against the Swans. It won't work against many other teams in the comp, but the fact that Sydney are going so short in defence, I think this will actually deplete Sydney. The fact is, though, that Carlton need to find a way to move forward without just gaining disposals for their midfielders. That's just not going to work. But Charlie Curnow has had a very good year, and he has played at a very good record against Sydney. Last year I was at the game in Melbourne against Carlton, and he kicked, I think, 6 goals, and he was brilliant. So I'm picking Carlton. I do think that they'll win this game. I would love to see Sydney win, but I just don't think they can hold up in defence with those 2 guys down there. Saturday afternoon is St Kilda versus Hawthorn. St Kilda should win this one. It's at Marvel Stadium. Hawthorn have shown in the past few weeks that they are pretty good. if they can get the ball from clearance. And now Mitch Lewis is holding up in the forward line, but I think St Kilda win this one all day long. They're very good at Marvel, and now that this week Hawthorn are playing a team with a defence that's not lower than waffle level, they should win this game, St Kilda, and lock Mitch Lewis away with Wilkie or Dougal Howard and win this one pretty comfortably. After that, we get to Melbourne versus Fremantle. I think Fremantle are a sneaky chance here. I would give them a lot more of a chance if this was in Perth. But last year, Fremantle were the first team to beat Melbourne, and it was in Victoria. So I'm giving Fremantle a slight chance because they have seemed to turn their form around. We'll see how Luke Jackson's reception is at the MCG. But I think you have to pick Melbourne. Even though they're losing Kate and Oliver for a couple of weeks, I still think that they're a little bit stronger. And Melbourne should run away with this one pretty simply. This is also my certainty pick for the week. So I did actually miss mine last week. So I actually have to catch up on a few of the punishments. I have to buy a Giants jumper and I have to pay for my brother's petrol. And now I also have to pay for $50 of his membership for next year. But sorry, I've been missing out on the past few of them. So yeah. After that, we get to the Saturday twilight game. This is Geelong versus the Giants down at GMHBA Stadium. I would be giving the Giants a bit of a chance here, but the fact that it's down in Geelong win this one pretty simply. My brother's put the certainty pick on Geelong to win this one, and I think he's pretty much got it. They're basically...
Fucking hell. Alrighty, guys, we're back for the second half. Swans guy has joined us. How you doing, man? You got 3 tips? I've got 3 tips as well, but they've been the last 3 games. So players are moving back into their positions now. Crows had a great second quarter, but Brisbane brought back a couple of late goals to give them a little bit more hope going into the second half. My PlayStation remote nearly fell over. You got all your tips right so far. I don't believe you, but okay. Second half is underway. Back in the ruck. O'Brien wins it down. Coming through was McCluggage. Couldn't bring it with him. Goes back into it, though. Oh, he sat on it now. He's going to be in trouble. He has to get the ball out. He sat on it. He should be pinned. Umpire doesn't pay it, though. So back in the ruck. O'Brien wins it down. Laird coming through. Just accepts the tackle from Dunkley and be another ball up. Still stayed in this stoppage in the middle of the ground. Laird can't get the handball away. Neil dives in, gets it out of there, does nicely. And now Zorko gets the ball smothered, but still going forward. Trickles past Gunston. Cameron just sockers it forward. Play on the call. Coming through there is Duday, but then Cameron picks it up. Oh, tries to spin out. Tries to spin past, but then hits the ground. Oh, you say that I got 3 tips right. Yeah, no, I've only got 3. Cameron just couldn't spin out of there with the wet deck. But at the moment, down by 11, got inside the forward 50 early in the third. McInerney wins it down, but O'Brien gathers it and then thumps it out of the defensive 50. Coming up, though, was Starskovic who takes the mark. He needs to lift Starskovic. He's let Rankin away, and he's had a pretty big impact in this game so far. Starskovic drives it back inside the forward 50. Good spoil there from Lincoln McCarthy to not allow the Crows defenders to grab it. Ashcroft being very quiet, gets out the handball. Rayner tries to duck down for a high one. Laird tackles him well. It'll be a ball up. McInerney out the back. Here comes Ashcroft. Gets it through to Rayner. Rayner just couldn't get good purchase on it. But Zorko to get another one for the Lions. It trickles towards the boundary and just goes through for a behind. For the first score of the second half. So Murray will take the kick in here for the Crows. Goes long towards the broadcast side. Players wrestle for it, but Murray gets the fist towards it. Fists it out of bounds.
Oh, the umpire's throwing was woeful. They have to call that back. Surely they call that back. That throwing was about 5 metres. Nonetheless, Keys tries to kick it away, can't do so. McInerney wasn't clean enough. Neil gets it out to Dunkley. His kick gets smothered and goes up in the air. Berry tries to break through Miller, and Zorko tries to thump it forward. Neil takes 2 tackles, then drops it. Should have been pinned, but Zorko sends the torpy long. Going through there is McCluggage. If he's clean, they're away. Breaks past 2. Hugh McCluggage can snap a goal in for the Lions and does. Great quality play there from Hugh McCluggage. Had a quiet first half, but quality shines through. He gets the goal. I actually tipped the Crows for this one. Lockie Scholl just wasn't strong enough to hold McCluggage, and great finish there from Hugh. Just shrugs one, breaks past, lets the seas part for him, and just snaps a nice goal. First goal of the second half goes to the Lions. I didn't really pick by how much, but I thought it would be a close one, so I don't know, a couple of goals. At the moment, they're playing pretty well, but the Lions get the first of the second half. Crows' pressure was immense in that second term, but they just let off there a little bit. O'Brien thumps it down. Neil does well to gather it. Gets the handball out the back. He saw Zorko, who thumps it forward. Miller read it nicely. Was touched off the boot, though. Gives it back to Dawson. He goes out the back, but the kick is poor. Makes Saligo have to go for it, and he leaves it behind. Berry has some time. Charges towards 50. Kicks towards goal. It won't get there. On the line is Danaher. Can't bring it with him. Cameron just wasn't clean and fumbled it through for a behind. He was thinking about the goal celebration, I think, there, Charlie, but just didn't bring the ball with him. So Worrell, being good, goes long towards the wing to a 2-on-2. Lester thumps it down. Coming through there was Neil. Good tackle there from Laird, but it could be a sling tackle. And it was. So he could be in trouble with that midweek tomorrow night there, Leroy Laird. But Lockie Neal gets the free kick. We've already seen Chera and Parker get a 1-week suspension for dangerous tackles on the weekend. Rory Laird, could be in a bit of trouble. But Neal goes in, can't bring it down. Murray clears out of the defensive 50. It bounces, it trickles. Laird leaves it behind. Lester. Don't know if that was an effective handball. Lockie Neal gets away, gets out the handball to Charlie Cameron. Ashcroft has needed to lift. Kicks towards goal. It sits in the air. It goes through for a point, though. Fisted through by Worrell. So Worrell once again kicks it in. Long to a 2-on-1 for the Crows. Good fist there from Andrews. McCluggage gets the hands free and does nicely. Out to Andrews. He goes further back to Rich, who thumps it forward. 2-on-1 with Lincoln McCarthy. Almost brought it down. Worrell does nicely to get the hands free. Gives it to Murray. Out to Michaelani. And he goes wide to a 1-on-1. Good pressure there from Starskovich. Almost marked it and did. Good mark from Starskovich. He started well in the second half. Wheels around and goes long towards the forward 50. Up goes Lincoln McCarthy. Can't bring it with him. Ashcroft probably got a free kick there. And he did. That's kicking in danger. So the Crows give away a free kick. Riley O'Brien didn't really think there. Probably should have thought that to go for the football instead of kicking it out of midair. And Ashcroft got kicked in the hands. He gets a free kick. So for a player who was quiet in the first half, only had the 5 touches, he started off this second half pretty nicely, the young man. Ashcroft a chance here to give the Lions back the lead. He comes in, he's left it out to the right, and he's lucky to score. Goes through for a point. Another behind for the Lions. I said earlier in the match when they were missing, the missed scores could actually cause them to lose this game. We've seen it over the weekend. And the Lions started well in the second half, but aren't kicking too well. Rory Sloan takes the mark on the wing. Drives it long towards the forward 50 in a 1-on-1. Phil Thorpe just can't take the mark. He may have got a free kick for his troubles. Yes, he will. So Phil Thorpe gets the free kick here against Starskovich. Wasn't really looking at it. Phil Thorpe 100% deserved that free kick. Drives it long towards the top of the goal square and a 2-on-3. Dawson comes from nowhere, couldn't bring it down. Fogarty probably got a high one and does. So a chance here for the Crows to go down the other end after the Lions' pretty big dominance early in the third quarter to kick their first goal of the second half here, the Adelaide Crows. So Darcy Fogarty definitely got a high one against Hugh McCluggage, who kicked the goal a little bit earlier, McCluggage, but then gives away a dumb free kick almost. He should have known that was going to be He should have got himself a little bit lower there. Chance here for Fogarty to kick this one. 25 out, straight in front. Shouldn't miss. Fogarty, he tests that right goalpost a little, but it wasn't much of a trouble. Good goal there for Adelaide. They get their first of the second half through Darcy Fogarty. So the Lions down one end, miss their opportunity. Crows go down the other and get a great goal. High just for the moment, but it was enough for the umpire to see it. And it looks like both sides have started off in this third quarter. Back in the ruck coming through there was Sloan. He can't bring it with him. Gets tackled well there from two Lions. Another tackle there from Lachie Neale. It looks like he's got a free kick here, the Lions, for all his trouble. So Lachie Neale get the free kick. Comes around and kicks it long inside the forward 50. From the back there is Chase Jones. Thumps it towards the boundary line. Dunkley should get there first, but is happy to take it over. Why is Parker suspended? He did a dangerous tackle on some Carlton player. I don't think it should have been there, but he got a week for it. I don't know if Sydney will contest it. They may, but it's going to be big for next week because he's been one of the best performers the past few weeks. Knocks it down there, McInerney. Coming through there with Zach Bailey. Got it smothered there from Sloan. Did well, Keys. No, next week while we got the bye. No, he'll miss the St Kilda game. Sorry, I forgot about that. None of the ruckman could get to it. Hits the ground through his Lachie Neale. Sloan gets a little tackle on, but still gets it away. McCarthy thumps it towards the goal. Will it bounce? 3 in for McCarthy. It fumbles towards the points and just misses. Another behind for the Lions. They've got 13 points for their troubles tonight. Only 6 goals. Is this a Carlton story coming up right now? I don't think so, because they haven't had Harry Mackay and Curnow missing all their shots, but nonetheless. Murray goes long towards the wing to a 2-on-2. Dawson from the back did nicely, brought it to ground, and the handle out the back was smart. Gives it to Soligo, and he kicks it down the wing. Great pick up there from McHenry. Gave it off to Murphy, who left it behind. That was crucial, and now McKenna can cause it back. Gives that the handball, finds Bailey, and now McCluggage has the football. Just plays on and goes long down the wing to the forward 50 on a 1-on-1. Great spoil there from Murray. Sends it 3 rows back. So inside the forward 50 here for the Lions. They've had a lot more of the territory in this quarter. In fact, looking at it now, they've had 10 inside 50s to the Crows 1, and both teams have kicked the goal. O'Brien gets there first, just sockers it off the ground, and the umpire will call this one back for a rethrow. These boundary umpires on the commentary side have had trouble throwing it in this quarter. I don't know if it's the breeze or something, but a couple of throw-ins have been very short. Throws it in. McInerney gets it down. Bailey coming through. Does nicely to Dunkley. Over the top to McCluggage. They're working it well in the lines. Bailey just fumbled at the crucial stage. Worrell gets over him. Picked up by Ashcroft. Puts it on the boot, but the kick is poor. Goes out on the full. Harry Mackay shanks every time. We'll see how he goes next week. I can't remember who they play, the Blues, but we'll see how that goes, eh? So Chase Jones will take the free kick in the back pocket. Goes long to a pack of players. Phil Thorpe goes up, can't bring it down. Out the back is Rochelle. Good tackle there from Starskovic. Didn't bring him to ground, which was good to see. Oh, that could be a free kick. Nothing doing. Oh, they play Melbourne? Oh, that's over then. Melbourne have lost their previous two games. They're not going to lose another one. Back in the ruck. Thump forward there from McInerney. Did nicely. Ashcroft's handball was poor though. Duday gives it off to Keys, who thumps it towards the wing. Only as far as Coleman. He handballs it to McCluggage, who knew the danger. Gave it off to Ashcroft. Back to McCluggage. He's done well in the second half. Goes long inside the forward 50 to a 2-on-2. Hipwood takes it! He's been quiet tonight, Eric Hipwood, but he takes a great mark there against Butts. And to say they need this one is a massive understatement. The Lions have been down for quite a while. They've missed a lot of opportunities in this match. But a pretty easy angle here for Eric Hipwood. He shouldn't have any problems. That was great work from McCluggage on the wing. Yeah, they have been pretty good tonight. So, Eric Hipwood. Slight angle, 30 metres out, kicks towards goal. He's hooked it. Too much, he's hit the post. Poor kick from Eric Hipwood. That's another behind to the Lions. Will they rue these chances? They're kicking at goal. The Lions has been bloody woeful tonight. Goes long to the wing. Up goes McInerney. Doesn't get a good fist on it. Fogarty just fumbled though, and it goes out of bounds. They've had 11 inside 50s, the Lions, in this third term. The Crows have only had 1. This is like almost a carbon copy of the first quarter. Danaher's only had the 6 touches tonight. He's been in very good form this year, but he hasn't played a lot of ruck tonight, which is kind of surprising. Knocking it down there, McInerney gets pushed in the back, almost there, Lockie Neal. Play onto the call, Keys sits on it, but he's fine, and we ball up. 86% inside their forward half, the Lions, in this third term. McInerney thumps it forward once again. Saligo will get back first, takes the contact. Zorko brings him down, and he got a free kick for his Charles there, Saligo. Great job. Zorko looks a little bit worse for wear off that hit. Hard body there, Saligo. Takes his time, goes long down the wing to a one-on-one. Up goes Fogarty. Good spoil from behind from Andrews. Thumps it out of bounds. Oh, I think he got him in the nuts there, Dane Zorko. I think that's why he was gasping for air. Got him in the knackerdoodles. Maybe in the face as well. Back in the ruck. Thump forward there from McInerney. Who will get there first? Looks like Miller. Runs past it, though. Then pushes off McCluggage with ease. But the handball was poor. Off to Bailey. He's got space. Gives it off to Rayner. He wasn't ready for it. Bailey keeps it going forward. Hipwood taps it forward, which was good. Bailey in the pocket. Don't tell me he's nailed it from there. Zach Bailey. He's kicked it across the face. And another behind for the Lions. They have dominated the Lions in this third term, but they can't put it on the scoreboard. Zach Bailey should have 100% nailed that. In the wet, you don't roll it along the ground, and if you do, you kick it to the goal. You kick it to the goal line. He rolled it, hoping for the bounce, but the wet weather would not let the ball skip towards goal. 2-on-1, Phil Thorpe did okay, but on the ground was Gardner. He kicked it forward. Good kick. Great mark there from McCarthy. Crows got back well, but McCarthy kicks into the forward pocket. The leading Danaher played for the free kick. Play on. Tackled over the line there was Worrell. And it'll be a ball in. Umpire wasn't falling for the free kick to Joe Danaher there. Didn't even put the hands up there, Joe. If he did, he probably marks it. That's poor from Joe Danaher. He should have marked that ball. He's been good this year. He doesn't need to play for free kicks. Back in the ruck. O'Brien taps it down. Sloan coming through. Ashcroft probably got him high. Play on to the goal. Sock it out of there somehow. Bailey comes through. Scholl left it behind. McCluggage, he's been great this term. Can he kick it? He's kicked it across the line. And another behind for the Lions. The Crows in it by the skin of their teeth at the moment. 16 behinds. Long kick here from the Crows. Coleman goes up. Out the back was Gardner. He thumps it back in once again. Rayner can't bring it with him. It goes out the back now. And Chase Jones takes it out of bounds. Did you watch the final quarter movie on Adam Goods? I haven't actually watched it. I did see he got a statue at the SCG, which I thought was really cool to see. It actually looked really good too. I've seen a couple of the I've seen the Bob Skilton statue in Victoria for the Sydney, and I took a photo next to it. I thought that was really cool too. Oscar McInerney thumps it 40, and there's a ball in. McInerney just thumped that ruck contest 40 metres forward. It went out of bounds. That probably should have been deliberate in the defensive pocket, but the umpire gives him, I don't know why, but he gave him a reprieve. They don't usually pay deliberate against the ruckman thumping it forward. If they kicked it there, it may have been deliberate. Back in the ruck, McInerney knocks it down. Zorko out of midair, kicks it towards goal. Obviously rolls out of bounds. Couldn't get any angle on that one. Brisbane have dominated this third term, but their Crows still hold the lead. Brisbane may rue these missed chances in this game, in the ruck. McInerney once again thumps it forward. That could be deliberate against Duday. No, he gives him a reprieve. I think the umpire wouldn't have got out of Adelaide Oval if he paid that deliberate. 22 scoring shots to Brisbane, only 15 to the Crows. They still lead, though. Back in the ruck. McInerney's probably dominated the most of the night. Coming through there was Bailey. Played for the free, didn't get it. Sloan kicks it off the ground. Only as far as Coleman. You wouldn't want to give it to this guy. He goes towards goal, but the kick is poor in the pocket. Spoiled out of bounds from Duday. You would have thought Coleman would have absolutely drilled it from 50, but he looked like he tried to pass it almost. I'd have been banking on Coleman kicking that goal from there, but he just kicked it up in the air for Zorko on a one-on-one, and it's out of bounds. Forward pocket once again. McInerney just taps it down slowly, only as far as Thilthorpe, who gets it to Scholl, and Scholl thumps it out of there. Long kick towards the boundary line. Walker, it's been a bit quiet in the second half, gives the handball back to Gardner, and Coleman leaves it behind, but go through out of bounds once again. 9 minutes to go in this third term, 3-point lead to the Crows. I think the Crows have still only had the one inside 50 in this quarter. Oh, that kid just got hit in the face by his brother. By a flag. Back in the ruck, McInerney wins it out there. Thilthorpe can't gather it, but Laird does nicely. Handballs it out wide to Miller, who's got a little bit of space to work into. Step past McCluggage with relative ease and kicks it down the wing. The Crows have got some space here. McHenry takes the mark on the wing, gives it over the top to Laird. Now Laird drives it back inside the forward 50. Walker's got the sit! Can't bring it down. Fogarty in the pocket, good pickup. Andrews just pushes him towards the boundary line, and he takes it out of bounds. Despite the Crows only the second time being in there, they do look very dangerous going forward, the Adelaide Crows. So back in the ruck, forward pocket here for the Adelaide Crows. Barely been down here in this third quarter. Walker taps it down almost to himself, but McInerney just plucks it out of there, then kicks it long towards the wing to a one-on-one. Danaher and Murray, but Murray was brilliant. Great mark from Murray. He plays on, goes back inside the forward 50. Thilthorpe's there, Walker as well. Andrews from behind thumps it away. Keys just fumbled at the crucial stage, and Neil tackles him. Be another ball up. Walker taps it down. Neil gets tackled by two Crows. Eventually fumbles it. Walker takes two Lions with him. Eventually gets out. Pedler went to go handball, then decided to drag it back in. Lions sit on it. Still can't get it out. Somehow Sloan does. Saligo tackled well by Bailey. Brings him to ground. Eventually the umpire's going to call a ball up, and he does. Just under 8 minutes to go. Crows have got the player back in Duday, playing as the extra. McInerney kicks it forward. Only goes as far as Rayner, who again puts it on the boot. Not really much plan in that one. It goes towards the wing. Worrell will get back with McCarthy. Worrell gets there first. Great play with the handball back to Duday. Gets onto it. They've got some players on the inside here, but Butts decides to just plant it on the boot. Somehow gets to Saligo, who takes the mark. Don't know how he found anyone there, Jordan Butts. He'd had no plan with that kick, but he found Saligo somehow. He goes in short to Laird, who plays on, not really playing with it, but eventually just drives it long. To a 3-on-2 in the Crows' favour. Up goes Fogarty. Good spoil from Andrews. Pedal left it behind. Keys did well. Gave it out to Murphy. He's got a good left boot. He goes to the pocket with Rochelle. Great spoil from Leicester. And it's out of bounds inside the forward pocket here for the Crows. Rochelle was going to take a relatively easy mark, but Leicester just came in with the left fist and spoiled it out of bounds. That was a goal save. Oh, that's a shot-saving spoil. So the Crows repeat injuries for the first time in the quarter. Walker just fumbled. Then Rochelle drops it. Play onto the call. Rankin round the body. Can he get another one? Gardner thumps it through for a behind. So no team can find the goal face at the moment. The Lions need to find one. They've been having a lot of dominance, but the Crows have had it the past few minutes. Coleman! Is that... Oh, it's not on the full. Been a bit contentious with the umpiring tonight with the boundary, but nonetheless, goes in short to Ashcroft, who drives it down the wing. Murray and Thilthorpe, they didn't talk. Sloan gets tackled. He should be gone here. Eventually gets it out, though, Sloan. Oh, he's gone. Yes, good call from the umpire. Free kick to the Lions. Rayner will take the free kick on the wing. He goes long to a one-on-one. Get there first with Butts. He thumps it away on as far as McCarthy. He handballs it out wide, but Saligo's the only one there. That was a poor handball. Can't gather it though, Saligo. Gunston gets on top of him. Berry does nicely to get it out of there. And McCarthy jams it back inside the forward 50. Goes to ground there was, I think, Hillipwood, but a great mark from there from Lockie Scholl. It's very good in the first half, Lockie Scholl. Great mark there, getting back to help his team. They're going down the commentary side once again, the Crows. Long to a pack of players. Thilthorpe has a bit of a sit here. Can't bring it with him. O'Brien had time, eventually got off the handball to Rochelle, and now the Crows can go through to Saligo. Gives it off to Dawson. This is a lethal left boot with this guy. Goes long towards the 50 and a one-on-one. Walker just couldn't mark it, but brings it to ground. Now Rankin, can he have something special here? Dribbles it towards goal. The player will get back in for the Lions. Good play there from McKenna. Has time. Hooks it across his body with a great kick and finds Wilmot. It's probably a little bit of a poor play there from Isaac Rankin. He probably should have just held it up a little bit there, waited for his teammates to get down forward, but he just went for goal, and McKenna was all on his own back there to defend that. Long kick was poor, but gets out the back there of, I think, Fogarty and rolls out of bounds. No, it was Chase Jones, in fact. Still 5 minutes to go in this third term. Crows lead it by 4. Lions dominated the early parts of this quarter, probably the mid part as well. The Crows have came back in the past few minutes and have held strong on the scoreboard. O'Brien thumps it down, coming through was Dawson. Keeps it in front of him, which was brilliant to see. Then Laird gets onto it, handles it in front of him, in front of Dawson, but thumped out of bounds there from Darcy Gardner. Be a ball in. Dawson's playing brilliantly, 100% passer. Currently has 19 touches on the ground on the game at the moment. Back in the ruck once again. O'Brien wins it down. Coming through there was Zorko. Did nicely. Got off the handball to Wilmot. Turns around. Didn't know he had that much time. Goes long with the kick. Just out of the grasp of Gunston and rolls out of bounds on the outer wing. Gunston's been very quiet tonight. So is Hipwood. So is Danaher. You could say it's because of the conditions, but they've definitely had some opportunities. Well, Gunston hasn't really, but he hasn't done much to get an opportunity, to be honest. Maybe even a chance. I don't think they would do it, but maybe even chuck him in the ruck for 5 minutes. Back in it now, though. O'Brien wins it down. Great spin move there from Laird. The handball not so much. Bailey leaves it behind. Zorko can't gather it. Does well there, Lockie Neal. Let the traffic pass him. Gets out the handball. Sorry. Dawson gets it out now. Can't gather it, though. It was Laird. And good work there from the Lions to worry him out of it. Gardner trickles it forward, and then Lester puts the boot into it. Kicks it long. Can't gather it there, Hipwood. Great work there from Gunston. And now McCarthy kicks towards goal. Can the Lions finally get one? He has scored it behind yet again. Pretty poor kick from Lincoln McCarthy. Probably been the least informed player out of their forward line so far this year for the Lions. 6 goals, 17 for the game. I think it's 1 goal, 9 for the quarter. Is that right? Long kick. Berry plays for the free kick, and he's got it for his troubles. Jared Berry gets a free kick here. Crowd just saw it. They're not happy about that free kick. Berry goes in short. He finds Zorko, who dropped an absolute sitter. So he decides to just plant the boot into it. Thumps it long. Up goes Hipwood. He grabs it on the second go. Play on's the call. Good call from the umpire. It'll be a ball up. Eric Hipwood is not impressed, but I don't think you can pay that. Back in the ruck. O'Brien just takes it out of the ruck and runs. Gives out the handball to McHenry. He's been pretty good tonight. Long kick towards the wing. Rankin don't mark it, but great take from Pedler. He runs down the Adelaide oval wing. He takes a second bounce. Luke Pedler doesn't have many options, so he just goes in short. Good play there from Pedler. That was real good composure. Finds Thilthorpe. He goes long to a one-on-one. Walker probably dragged down Gardner. Should be a free kick. It is. Brisbane will get the free kick. Walker should have done better there. The kick wasn't that good, though, for Thilthorpe. He should have got a lot higher. But 100% a free kick to the Lions. Gardner goes in short. He finds Rich. Goes long to a one-on-one. Leicester. Good play there from Worrell from behind. Rankin off the keys. And now Worrell jams it on the boot back inside the forward 50. Up goes Pedler. Can't bring it with him. Play on for cool. McHenry. Can't slap it forward. Phil Thorpe. Just got it out of there. Pedler just leaves it behind. And now McCarthy off to Neil. Neil had some time on the wing. Goes long down the wing to a one-on-one. Well done there from Hipwood. Brought it to ground. On the ground here is Gunston. Just fumbles. Could have get in the back for a kick here. And he does. That's in the back. Poor play from Riley O'Brien. Goes inside, finds Rayner. Now the Lions could go through Ashcroft. Was a poor handball. Barry gets it away, just handballs it forward. Dawson does nicely. Good tackle there from Hipwood. Or went for an elbow there. Could be a bit of trouble. Ball up from the umpire. Back in the ruck. McInerney wins it down. Great take there from, I think it was Lockie Neal. But well on there from Murphy to give it to Laird. The kick to Rankin was a bit fast for him, but he taps it out nicely. And now Worrell. Oh, that was unfortunate that Wilmot blocked it. Worrell goes in again and he does nicely. Laird leaves it behind, but now Ashcroft can't get it away. There's just such a scramble at the moment. No team can get any free air. And another ball up. Oh, that's 100% a mark to hit, but I'm so sorry. Kick goes forward. Rochelli gets a higher one. That'll be a free kick to the Crows. Rochelli gets a free kick in the middle of the ground. He immediately plays on. Goes out wide. He finds Lockie Scholl. Crows have some space. Only 2 minutes to go, though. The Crows would absolutely love one late. He goes in short. They're going a little bit slow, which is good to see, I think. Good composed. Fucking don't worry about what I'm going to say. Murphy thumps it long to a 2-on-1. Up goes Phil Thorpe. Probably should have marked it. Out the back goes Fogarty. In the pocket. Good chase there from Andrews. He hooks it back. McHenry's going to get it. He steps past one. Kicks the goal for the Adelaide Crows. They take a 9-point lead with only a couple more moments in this third term. Great finish from the Adelaide Crows. McHenry gets the Crows 9th of the game. Can you believe it? You got a bit lucky there, the Adelaide Crows, but they will take every moment of that. Great finish there from McHenry. He's played really well tonight. Was not even going to play. I think he was going to be the sub. Came in late for Brodie Smith. And a great finish there. Gives them a 9-point lead. Half-time, the Crows had an 11-point lead. They currently lead by 9. Catching passes, loving it in the chat at the moment. Back in the ruck. Still a minute and a half to go. O'Brien wins it down nicely off to Laird, and now Dawson. Brilliant from the Crows. Dawson dives it back inside the forward 50. Oh, completely misread that, McKenna. Let it hit the ground, soccers it away. It'll be coming back, though. Dawson has some time, handles it over the top to Laird. Back to Dawson. These guys combine all the time. And the kick inside forward 50, though, from Dawson was poor. Cut off there by Rich. At this rate, I think the Lions just need a hold till three-quarter time. He goes out wide to find Gunston, who's gone back to shore up the defence. He finds Berry. 6 goals, 17 to the Lions have definitely cost them so far. The kick down the wing was poor. Leicester keeps it in front of him. He actually does okay. Then Keys tackles him well. Be a ball up on the wing, you would think it is. The kick from Berry was shocking to Leicester. Put him under so much pressure. He actually did okay to just not get pinned holding the ball. Umpire throws it up again. O'Brien wins it down, coming through. There was Laird once again out to Scholl. Now Millerer thumps it back inside the forward 50 for the Crows. Up goes Fogarty, nearly brought it down with him. Now Rankin in the pocket. He could make something special. Rochelli loves a goal from the pocket. What a finish from Josh Rochelli! He runs to the crowd. What a finish from the young man. That's a goal of the year contender. What a finish from the pocket from Josh Rochelli. Can you believe it? In the wet, that's what you got to do with a goal along the ground. You have to put it on the goal line because it will not bounce for you. You just have to do that. And it's a great finish, great play from Rankin there. He could have gone for glory, but he saw Rochelli in a better position. Not that it was an easy position, but that's a great finish. Couple of big time goals from the Adelaide Crows in this game. They currently take a 15-point lead with 30 seconds to go in the third quarter, and in the conditions like this, big time goal. He's still got a smirk on his face, Josh Rochelle. He was happy with that effort. Still a chance for another one. O'Brien out the back, great tap. They're dominating at the moment, the Crows. Keys back to O'Brien, who thumps it forward. Murphy couldn't bring it with him. On the ground there was Rochelle. Rochelle can't bring it with him, though, either. He almost dove on that. Could be in a bit of trouble. Gets knocked out, though. Dunkley leaves it behind. Rich sockets it off the ground to Neil, and now Rayner. Breaks past one, Hebbles it over the top to Bailey. Back to Rayner. Lions have a bit of time. They'd love one late. Rayner's got heaps of time to work inside the forward 50, one-on-one. Both go to ground, Hipwood. Now Cameron and McElhaney. Cameron gets tackled almost without it. Can't get rid of it. Great pressure from the Crows. And at three-quarter time, they'll take a 15-point lead into the final change. At three-quarter time, the scores are 10-8-68 to the Lions, 6-17-53. The Crows held strong late. They absolutely brilliant goal from Josh Rochelle in the pocket to give them a 15-point lead going into the final quarter. Just bring up the statistics now, guys, and then we'll move into the final quarter, most likely. No, that's the wrong one. Friday night footy. Shit, I think it's... Yeah, alright. Alright, guys, so at three-quarter time, we have leading disposal getter on the ground. It's Rory Laird. He's been brilliant with the 24. Dawson with the 23, who's been brilliant as well. Lockie Neal with the 21, along with Ben Keys. And then 19 to Lockie Scholl round out the top 5. And then for the AFL fantasy watchers out there, we have Rory Laird with the 106. Dawson with the 96. Ben Keys with the 81. Dunkley with the 75. And then rounding out the top 5 is Daniel Rich with the 74. Huge last quarter. The Crows have absolutely dominated. The Blinds have absolutely dominated at stages tonight, but the Crows have just held strong. And then when they've got it forward, they've looked so dangerous. And a massive finish from Josh Rochelle in the pocket gives them a great goal going into three-quarter time. Also known as the Filthy Panther. Ew. That sounds really gross, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I'll do. Ugh. Ten people watching now, are they? Did get up to 10 at one stage, that's cool. Good to see everyone watching the stream. Last quarter is about to get underway. Oh, could be another upset as well here. I mean, I did pick this game. A lot of people have picked the Crows tonight because it is at Adelaide Oval, but still an upset is brewing. It's a 15-point lead to the Crows going into three-quarter time. Brisbane need to lift in this last quarter. Their kicking a goal has been woeful at times. No way if you got 9 from 9. No way you get 9 from 9, man. No way. They kicked 1 goal 9 in that quarter, the Brisbane Lions. That's terrible. They don't deserve to win this game if they're going to keep kicking like that. Yeah, I saw that was. Fourth quarter is about to begin now. Players getting back to their positions. What a last quarter this will be. Crows lead it by 15. Umpire thumps it down and the quarter begins. O'Brien wins it down. Neil almost gets the clearance to go straight up in the air. Thump forward from Dunkley. He needs to lift a little bit. McCarthy fell to ground, play onto the call. He kicks it inside the forward 50. Big chance for the Lions early. Good sport for Michael Annie. Probably should get a high one, and he does. In fact, it's Worrell. He has played brilliantly in his first game of the year, Worrell. Back there for the Crows. He'll go long down the wing to a one-on-one. Walker and Gardner. Walker gets the front spot, can't win it though. Gardner thumps it forward, coming through as McCluggage and Walker. Walker did very nicely. Scholl can't get the handball away, and Neil takes it out of bounds. Nearly in 50 here for the Lions. Back in the ruck. McInerney taps it up in the air. Dawson just tries to thump it towards the boundary line. Keys falls over though. Taps towards the boundary line, and Pedlar's more than happy to see it out. 23 scoring shots to 18, but the Lions find themselves 15 points behind. You're not seeing that wrong. The Lions have kicked terribly in this game. Back in the ruck. Knocking it down there was O'Brien, coming through as Dunkley. Good tackle from behind from Keys. Another stoppage. Already, I think, had 4 stoppages in this fourth quarter already. Crows will be happy to keep it in the clinches in this last quarter. Almost held there was Keys by Neil. Another stoppage. Won't be long before an umpire makes a stupid decision. O'Brien wins it down. Dawson can't tap it to advantage. Well done there from McCluggage to tap it to Rich, who's been pretty good tonight. He's had some poor moments, but he's done okay. Danaher in the area can't gather it. Murray does brilliantly, worried him out of it. He's been brilliant as well tonight. The Crows have been brilliant as a defensive collective, but Fogarty's given away a free kick here to Andrews. So Lions will get a free kick at half-back. Andrews goes in short and he finds Bailey, and he's got heaps of space to work into, Zach Bailey. He goes long. It's a really poor kick. Rayner does well to give a contest. Dunkley on the ground just handballs it forward. Hipwood may have got a free kick here, Josh Dunkley, and he has. And he's hardly moved, Josh Dunkley. He gets up eventually, but he took a while to get up there. That he may actually have to come off. He's alright. I think he's just grabbing at his neck a little bit. So he's alright, Josh Dunkley. He's up now. Any AFL fantasy watchers out there, take a breath. Dunkley goes into the pocket, and Danaher finds himself basically on his own in the forward pocket. Big time Joe. Is he here tonight? He's been cold most of the night. Hardly seen it. Only had the 6 touches. He's kicked 2 points, which were early in the match. He's been dead quiet, Joe. But a chance here to give these Lions an early goal in the last quarter. It's a hard kick in the left forward pocket. He's not very good from here. He's kicked 6 goals, 10 from this spot all grounds. Joe Danaher comes in. He looks like he's kicked it. Big Joe kicks the goal, and the Lions get the first of the last quarter. Big finish from Joe Danaher. Finally got one, the Lions. The 1 goal 9 in that third term. The Crows fans were giving it to Joe, but he stood up to it and he kicked the goal. Pretty nonchalant there, Joe Danaher. He wasn't really celebrating too much for it. Definitely wasn't the celebration that we saw from Josh Rochelle in the last quarter, which I personally like to see. I like to see a lot more personality in the game. But we're back in the middle. Heaps of time left, of course. Back in the ruck. Neil comes through. Can't bring it with him. Zorko leaves it behind, but Dunkley under it does nicely. Rich just thumps it forward a good 50 metres off the ground. Who gets there first? It's Charlie. He tries to beat Michaelani, trying to make him misread it, but he actually did pretty well, Michaelani, to corral him. He gets it forward, though. Duday leaves it behind. Joe has some space. Was going to come around, but great tackle there from Worrell. That's holding the football. Great pressure to lock him to the boundary, and he pins him gone. But finally, Josh Worrell has been taken off with the blood rule. He's been bleeding from the nose for quite a while. He kept it well disguised, but now he's been taken off. So Josh Worrell will be coming off for the blood rule. He'll be back soon, but he's done brilliantly tonight. And really good pressure there to lock him towards the boundary so he couldn't hook it back with the left boot. And he pinned him gone. So Murray will take the duty to kick it long. Down towards the boundary in a one-on-one. Good play there from Fogarty from behind. Caused the contest, roll out of bounds. Brisbane have dominated again in this early parts of the quarter. Already had the 10 touches compared to the Crows 3 and already had the first 3 clearances and 3 inside 50s. But we've seen the Lions dominate at stages all night and have not taken their opportunities. In the ruck, O'Brien thumps it a good 20 metres out of there. Zorko can't gather it. One on there from Rankin to Dawson. Handball was disrupted. Neil taps it out to Starskiewicz, who gets tackled well from Laird. Another stoppage just on the forward side of the wing here for the Crows. Worrell's getting attended to now. He'll be back soon. He's very important tonight. He's been brilliant. Crows have already had 71 tackles, which is brilliant in this game. And a free kick has been pulled out once again. Lockie Neal gets the free kick. He goes inside. He finds Bailey. So Lions getting a little bit of the rub of the green at the moment. Zach Bailey in the middle of the ground. Looks like they're going to take it a little bit slow here. Goes out wide to Daniel Rich. Good ball user most of the time. He drives it back inside the forward 50. Getting back was Murray. Out the back was Lincoln McCarthy. Should have been a free kick against him. Out to Dawson, who gets dragged down. Got the boot to ball. Rayner, not 15, playing onto the call. Great pressure there from Butts. Gets it out to... Oh, he almost got taken high there. Bailey. And it's ball up. Almost got taken high. He didn't get taken high. It was a good tackle from Laird, actually. And Bailey brings him down. Back in the ruck, coming through there nicely there was Zorko. Good tackle there from Miller. Brings him down. Brisbane got it inside their forward 50. McInerney knocks it forward. Coming through there was Scholl. Got the ball to boot nicely. Kicks it forward. Well done there from... I think it was Leicester. Tapped it forward, but the Crows get it forward through Keys. Great mark from Rankin going back with the flight, and the Crows are running. Here goes Lockie Murphy. He's got some space, kicking inside the forward 50. Fogarty left it behind. On the ground is Rochelle. Kept himself in. Rochelle would love a goal here, but he kicks it back. Great team play. And finds Saligo. Could have snapped around the body there, Rochelle. Would have had the license to, but he's sure his teammate is in Saligo, about 25, 30 metres out, pretty much straight in front. And a chance here for the Crows to get a quick reply. So Saligo's been pretty good tonight. A chance here to give the Crows first of the last quarter. Not much angle to speak of. Saligo comes in, drills the goal. The Adelaide Crows fans stand as one. And they get their first of the last. Back to that 15-point lead they had at three-quarter time, the Crows. Great finish. Just got it on the counter. They've done that a few times tonight, the Adelaide Crows. The Brisbane have not defended the counter-attack well. And the Crows have just been able to get some pretty easy goals, if I'm being honest. Great finish there from Saligo, but all set up by Josh Rochelle. $16 touches tonight for Josh Rochelle. Gets his first. Still heaps of time in this one. Brisbane have got a chance, but they've got to start converting when they go forward. Back in the middle. McInerney wins it down in front of him. He'll get his own clearance, he looks like. He just thumps it forward off the fist. Miller charges through. Can't win it, though. Berry at the back to Dunkley. Been tough all night. Probably got a high one. Play onto the call. Out wide to Zorko, who just fumbled and then fell over. Now McHenry worries him out of it. Coleman did nicely. He was clean to Zorko. Now Berry drives it back inside the forward 50. Rainer's got a bit of a sit here. Well done there from Butts to get across. Spoiled it towards the boundary line. Didn't get a good bounce there, Jones. And McCarthy takes it out of bounds. Adelaide are doing pretty good this season. Yeah, they've lost their last few games, but they're doing okay. They win this one tonight, they get back in the top 8. How you doing, Bazza? What are you up to tonight? Just inside the forward 50 for the Lions. McInerney out the back on as far as Saligo, who'll get the clearance. He kicks it long towards the middle of the ground, just a tumble punt forward. Rich will get back first. He's got time and space. Handles it out to Wilmot. He went to feign the kick, then eventually had to put it on the boot. He drives it long to a 2-on-1. Great cut off there from Worrell once again. He's been a revelation back there tonight. So Worrell decides to kick it long down the wing. Up goes Dawson, almost uncontested. Hits to Wilmot, a good tackle there from Pedler. Be another ball up. Just over 13 and a half minutes to go. O'Brien wins it down. McInerney tried to gather it, but Sloan did nicely. Dribbles it forward a good 40 metres, but then kicked off the ground there from Ryan Lester. He kicks it back to where it came from. Dunkley can't gather it. Dawson worried him out of it nicely. Handles it backwards. Butts can't win it on the ground. Wilmot went in there, and then 2 Lions tackle Butts. Hipwood does nicely. Ball up there. Crows have held really strong in their defensive 50 tonight. Wins it down there, McInerney. Kicks it, but not too far away. Saligo, play onto the call, of course. He drives it back on the boot with a long kick up to Fogarty. Great mark! He plays on, though. He kicks it inside the forward 50 to a 1-on-1. It's still Thorpe and Andrews, he can't win it. He taps it towards the boundary line. Very smart play. Phil Thorpe keeps it in, though. Andrews just takes a tackle and takes him on the line. And the umpire... he pulls it in. Great pressure from the Crows. They've had 20 more inside 50s than the Brisbane Lions, but they're down by 15. They're kicking a goal, understandably, has been woeful if you look at the scoreboard. Back in the ruck, O'Brien wins it down. Neil almost threw that out. Keys on the right boot to kick them with a game-high lead. Great spoil there from Rich. Puts it through for a point. I don't know what that was. One more for the Crows, and it could be game over. The Lions, I don't know if they can get another 4 goals. So Rich goes down the middle of the ground. Dangerous kick. Coleman and Sloan. Sloan did nicely. Coming through was Rankin. Over to Sloan. Over the top to Pedler. Can he ice the game for the Adelaide Crows? He kicks it! Great goal from Luke Pedler. The Crows are almost home. He's been brilliant tonight, Luke Pedler. And a goal there almost gets the Crows home. It's going to be hard now for the Lions. They need to get 4 goals just to get in front. And I mean, you'd think nearly 5 to win it. Great play there from Luke Pedler. On the left boot. Doesn't exactly look like a classy kick of the football, if you say that. He looks like a true footballer. But he's great left foot kick. And that goal was brilliant. He loved it too. Which is great to see. It's all up to the Lions now. Crows can just hold for the next 5 or so minutes, and they've probably got this game done. The Lions are quick scorers. They have got 24 scoring shots tonight, so it's not like they haven't had chances. But they've chucked Joe in the middle. They're throwing everything at him now, the Lions. Almost a block in the stoppage, but here comes Dawson. Captain Dawson takes it out of the stoppage. Runs inside the forward 50 with a great kick. Great mark from Andrews. Great mark. And now the Lions have got a counter. Andrews goes long. It's actually a really good kick and finds Wilmot. Great pressure there from behind there from Sloan. Ashcroft comes through nicely. Over to Dunkley. He gets the 1-2 here. Lester doesn't have a Lester onto it though. He gets tackled well from Sloan. And the Crows' pressure's been immense. The Crows fans are into this one up to their eyeballs. But the Lions Just can't find any sort of space. The Crows' pressure's been immense. Back in the ruck. O'Brien thumps it forward only as far as McKenna, who puts it on the boot straight away. Thumps it forward. Murray gathers it nicely. Now Miller off half back. Kicks it back towards the forward 50. Gets out the back there of Murphy and trickles towards about 60 metres out. A lot of stoppages. The Lions just haven't been able to do much with them tonight. They're still in this game. Laird's had 14 tackles. Had a great night, Rory Laird. Once again, coming through there with Sligo, just hit the ground, play onto the call. Sloan can't get off the ground, gathers it eventually, gets off the handball. Oh, Luke Pedlow had a right boot, feigned it, didn't go on with it. Play onto the call on the ground. McCluggage can't gather it. Laird almost dove on it. McCluggage wraps him up. Another ball up. 100-70. Maybe. I don't know if there's that many goals in it, to be honest. The wet weather, I don't know if they can get that many goals, but it could be. One more goal from the Crows, and you'd say the game's over. Walker takes it out of the ruck, breaks past 2, dribbles it towards 50, smothered. McCluggage out the back, can't grab it. Wilmot doesn't glove it. Starskovic kicks it towards the boundary line. He may be in trouble here, Starskovic. Umpire walks towards it and pays it. Free kick will go to the Crows. Miller gets the free kick on the forward side of the wing. Feigns right, then comes back on the left. Has some time, kicks it into the pocket. Great spoil there from Wilmot. Murphy comes through, tackled well, drops it. Now Dawson looking inboard, gives it off to Scholl, and then the Campbell was smothered, goes out of bounds. Still 11 minutes to go. The sub has been made. Gunston has been subbed out. Madden will come in. I'm surprised his sub wasn't made a little bit earlier, to be honest. O'Brien was out. Donaher did not even go to that. That was poor. Sloan kicks it forward. He'll get to Dawson. Will he get there first? He does. Dawson snaps towards the top of the goal square, but Gardner's only there. Lions are hanging on here by the skin of their teeth. Gardner goes in short and he finds Coleman. Oh, he drops it! Play onto the call. Phil Thorpe puts on pressure. Now he has time. Phil Thorpe, good smother there from Andrews. Dives in there, McHenry, could be under the legs, play on, goes back in there, Phil Thorpe over the top, Pedler, taps it down, coming through was Murphy, he snaps towards goal, Lockie Murphy to get the Crows home, it rolls, oh great smother there from Starskovic on the line, goes through for a point, the Crows are almost there, they can sense it, they want to put in the knockout blow. So now Jones thumps it back inside the forward 50 and Walker takes the mark. Plays for the free kick, Taylor Walker. And he's telling him to go back and take his kick. And then Harris Andrews played for a free kick to try and get the reverse. Umpire said, I'm not having any of it. Tells Walker to go back. Really not good to see both players flopping there. I don't like that. But a chance here for Walker to ice this game. Only just under 10 minutes to go. Taylor Walker comes in. Kicks towards goal. Ices it for the Crows. And the Crows will be back in the 8 tonight. Great finish from Walker. Great play from the Crows. They've been brilliant tonight. Have had to hold at stages. Big time goal there from Walker. 9.5 minutes to go. Lions, I don't think, can come back from here. Do I think they'll make it to the finals? I think they can, because they will have a lot of games at home and they're going to be hard to beat at Adelaide Oval. It just depends on if they can win their games away from home. Back in the ruck. McInerney taps it out the back. The Lions have just got to go for it now. Bailey leaves it behind. Laird does brilliantly. Goes to ground but gets back up. Great tackle from Josh Dunkley. Now the Lions have got to go. Bailey has some space. Kicks it inside the forward 50 1-on-1. Murray gets under it. Play on to the call. Now Hipwood and Butts. Butts is happy to take it to the boundary line, but just steps Hipwood with ease. Kicks it away. Barry drops an absolute sitter. Taps it through nicely. Neil leaves it behind. Now Ashcroft looking for a high one. Play on to the call. Probably looking for it, but I think it was high anyway. Laird sockers it towards the wing. Walker's there. If he can gather it there away, he gathers it and kicks it down the boundary. Oh, Laird! That was off the ground. Oh, that was off the ground. Great mark from Rory Laird nonetheless. I think it hit the ground, but anyway. He kicks it back inside the forward 50. Down goes Phil Thorpe, and Andrews takes the mark. Did he mark this? Oh, he did. No, that's a mark. Good mark from Rory Laird. I'm sorry. Dunkley gets the free kick. Danaher plays it on. They've just got to go now, the Lions. Nope, they can't play on. So Dunkley will get the free kick at half back. 29 points down. Dunkley goes in short. He finds Coleman. Coleman plays on. He goes long to a 2-on-1. McCluggage did well to give a contest, and they're away here. McInerney gives it to McCluggage. He can't glove it, though. They've been so unclean at times, the Lions. And now they're back with it, the Crows. Puts it on the boot there, O'Brien, to a 2-on-1. McHenry, the one on there from the Lions. Danaher thumps it back. Bailey sprints away from Murphy and thumps it back inside the forward 50 to a 1-on-1. Up goes Charlie Cameron. Big time Charlie. Can he keep the Lions in this one? 20 metres out, not much of an angle to speak of. He should kick this Charlie, give the Crows a chance. Charlie Cameron to get another one for the Lions to give him a bit of hope. He nails it. They're still in this one, the Lions. There's a bit of time left. The question is, can they get it forward enough and find enough quality to get it back into it? They've kicked 2 goals straight in this quarter, the Lions. Shows what happens when they go through the big sticks. 23 points the difference. He's got 3 now, I think, Charlie Cameron. He's keeping them alive. So Worrell has been subbed out. Parnell has came into the game. That's kind of surprising. I think Worrell's been brilliant. I think they should just leave him on the ground. Maybe take off one of their tall forwards just because it's a bit wet out there still. But they've decided to take off Worrell. Back in the ruck. McInerney wins it down. Neil just taps it to Bailey, who sockers it off the ground. Rayner nearly marked it in the end, but Neil knocks it forward. Now McCarthy handles it at the back to Berry. He thumps it inside the forward 50. Can Cameron get there? No, he can't. Drops the mark. What on there for Michael Annie to worry him almost out of it. Duday takes the tackle. What on there from Madden. Now, great tackle there on McCarthy there from Duday. It'll be a ball up. The Lions suddenly have sparked into life all of a sudden. Where was this 3 quarters ago, the Lions fans will be wondering. Still got time. Inside the forward 50 if the Lions tap down there. Duday gets tackled well by 3 Lions. It'll be another ball up. Back once again. McInerney out the back trying to play something smart. Coming through was Lockie Neal, which just pushed him out of bounds there, Laird. Crows just need to take a couple of minutes out of the clock here. They've had 62 inside 50s for Lions. That is unheard of. To not have a lead at this game. To not have a lead in the game of footy. That's insane. Crows have held up well though tonight. Back in the ruck. Win down there from... Almost got it there, Bailey. Berry from the pocket. Great smother there from Keys. Knocks it out of bounds. He calls the fans up. Well on there, Ben Keys. Still inside their forward 50 of the Lions. Wins it down O'Brien. Come through Berry. Puts it straight up in the air. I don't think that'll be 15. But a free kick will go to the Crows. Rory Sloan gets the free kick at half back. Great person to have the ball with at the moment. Usually smart with it. Goes long towards the boundary. Great option. Up goes Walker. Can't bring it down, though. Now Gardner fumbles it out. McKenna has the football. Good tackle there from Laird. He dragged down. Another ball up. Just knocked out of bounds there. It'll be another ball in. Chris Fagan looks perplexed, really. He doesn't know what to do. There's not much he really can do now. It's all up to the players on the ground. There's still 6 minutes to go. There is time, but I think the Crows have got this one. O'Brien out the back. Nice little tap. It only goes as far as Lockie nearly kicks it forward, but Dawson's there. Takes the mark. Been brilliant tonight, Jordan Dawson. Been brilliant all year, Jordan Dawson, since he's become captain. So Dawson goes wide. Dribbles forward though. Rochelle drops, just fumbles the ball. Good pressure from Rich, but then Andrews leaves it behind. Keys handballs it forward to Rankin. He's got Walker on his left. He keeps on going. He's got Coleman chasing him. Walker from the pocket. It gets to the line, but then McCluggage spills it over. 24 points the difference. It's an even 4 goals. Lions put themselves in trouble here. Coleman goes back. Oh, just marked it there. McKenna in the slips. He plays on though. Good decision. He kicks it straight down the middle. It's a long, terrible kick. Oh, O'Brien's dropped the sitter. Play onto the call. Off the ground. Couldn't get it, Bailey. O'Brien does nicely to hit it out of there. McKenna handballs it forward. Keys keeps it in front of him. It's just a mad scramble to see who can grab it cleanly. Well done there from Ashcroft to pick it up. A good tackle there from McHenry. Takes him to ground. Still 5 minutes. The Crows I think they probably know in their hearts that they may be home here. They've been brilliant tonight. Great immense pressure all night. O'Brien thumps it forward. Leaves it behind there, Gardner. Walker gives it to Sloan. In fact, it's Laird. He handballs it forward. McKenna goes down, leaves it behind though. Walker just tries to soccer it off the ground. Crows try to surge it forward. Walker breaks past 2. Rankin. They give away a free kick here, the Crows. Free kick will go to, I think, Darcy Gardner. Goes out wide, McKenna, and he finds McInerney, who's dropped the sitter. The Lions just aren't on as much as the Crows are tonight. Crows have played brilliantly. They'll be back in the 8 tonight. They had to play a pretty big game to get back into the 8. And this is the game to do it. Back in the ruck, out the back, it's Sloan. Gets tackled well there by Zorko. Be another ball up. Once again, O'Brien gets a little tap down. Sloan thumps it forward. First player to get there is Gardner. Gets pushed off of it. Berry handballs it back to no one in particular. Keys gets to the football first. Clean with the football and thumps it long. Crows players there. Lester thumps it forward. Rankin will get there first. Snaps around the body. This will ice the game for the Adelaide Crows. Oh, you betcha! Isaac Rankin puts the game home. Puts the game to bed and the Adelaide Crows will win. What a statement to make the Adelaide Crows tonight. Last game of round 11. And they may send a couple of shocks through the competition for the rest of the season. They know now. They've won this game. Great work there from Adelaide. Was holding that left goal post, but got a good bounce. And he nailed it. Back in the ruck. McInerney knocks it down, coming through his Rayner. They've chucked him in the middle to try and get something out of him. Saligo, good tackle there from McCarthy. Probably should have got rid of it. Another ball up. This is a big danger for the Lions, though. They can't hold a team accountable, in my opinion. Their defence is still a worry. You could be right, 100 to 70. Well, I mean, they're going to have to kick 5 points each. It may be close, though. At the back is Cameron, can't get to it. First player there will be Danaher. Great pressure there from Scholl. Dragged it in, could be in trouble now, though. 2 Lions grab him. Wilmot gets it out. Runs out of there somehow, Wilmot. Kicks it towards the top of the goal square. Crows are everywhere. Up goes Cameron, can't bring it down. Lincoln McCarthy leaves it. Cameron has the football. Nearly falls over, but Charlie gets another. Brilliant goal from Charlie Cameron. Won't mean much, but it's a great finish. He's had a pretty good night. He's been one of the Lions' best. He's got 4. Probably been Brisbane's best, if I'm being honest. Well, there you go, 101 to 71. Maybe that's what it is. Get past it. Mike Laney's done okay against Cameron tonight, but I think Cameron's just had that little bit more experience and quality at stages where Mike Laney's gone on the ground. It's been a little bit unfortunate. He's actually had a pretty good game, but when you concede 4 goals against your opponent, I guess they've probably had the wood over you. But he's done pretty well. 3 minutes to go. The Crows have basically won this one, unless the Lions get an absolute miracle. They've won this game. O'Brien taps it down. Saligo comes through. Dunkley just sockers it off the ground. Good mark there from Bailey. He's got to get up quickly, Zach Bailey. He's limping a little. He may need a handball option. Goes in short to McInerney. Didn't even make the bloody distance. That's embarrassing. So McInerney just kicks it out of the ground with disgust. Rayner still trying to fight for it, but he tackled by 2 Crows. That's been a bit of their problem as well, the Lions. Their use, their composure, their efficiency has just been astonishingly bad at times. McInerney tries to take it out of the ruck. Dunkley gets the handball away. Murphy leaves it behind, but eventually gets back onto it. Kicks it up in the air. It's gone about 5 metres. Now Zorko picks it up off the ground. Kicks it away, but it'll be marked by Rankin. So Isaac Rankin holds it up. Good decision. Maybe a young man, but he has an experienced moment there. Goes out towards the back. Towards the defensive 50. So he goes long down the wing. Up goes O'Brien. Can't bring it with him. McInerney does pretty well there to break past his opponent. Goes long to a one-on-one. Can't bring it with him. Bailey kicks it towards the top of the goal square. It gets out the back. Danaher has a chance here. And the Lions get another. Hold on a second. 18 points. 3 goals in 2 minutes. It's not unheard of. This could bring it back to a level score. I don't give them much of a chance. Not at all, really. But they do give themselves a tiny bit of help. A tiny bit of hope. Danaher, who's being quiet, has kicked 2 in the last quarter. We saw the Saints get a couple of late goals against Collingwood and nearly dragged that one back. Have the Lions given away a 6-6-6 decision yet? Yep, free kick to the Crows. That is terrible from the Lions. Actually, the worst thing they could have done. So Riley O'Brien drives it back inside the forward 50. Well done there from Rich. Goes down to McInerney. He thumps it back inside the middle of the ground. Dawson, great play. He's been brilliant, Jordan Dawson. Great mark there. Got a couple of options behind him. Doesn't want to go there, though. Doesn't want to waste it. So he goes out wide and he finds Worrell. Worrell goes in short and he finds O'Brien. So I think they've got it now. It's a minute and a half to go. So it goes long O'Brien down the wing. The Crows will be in the 8 tonight. Great mark from McInerney. Next 5 games for the Crows. We have Gold Coast, West Coast, Collingwood, North Melbourne and Essendon. So you'd almost bank 3 wins there. West Coast and North Melbourne are absolute certainties. The Gold Coast, I'd give them a chance. Collingwood, pretty big game there. That's in the MCG as well, so that'll be a big game. And also Essendon at the MCG as well. And for the next 5 games for the Lions, they've got Hawthorn, which is a win. Sydney at home, which will probably see a win. St Kilda and Melbourne's an interesting one, but then Richmond and West Coast after that are probably wins as well. So Brisbane won't win tonight, but they'll be fine. The Crows have a pretty good month ahead. Could definitely set up for a finals charge late in the season. I think it's over now. I think you're right, man. There's only a minute to go. Crows have been brilliant tonight. Taking out a genuine contender. Keys handballs it forward towards the boundary. That'll be deliberate. Wilmot kicks it down the wing. He'll get a contest down long. 2-on-1. Well on there from Hipwood. Now Zorko on the ground. Kicks it towards goal. It goes into the pocket. Cameron gets there, but it rolls through for a behind. Another behind for the Lions. It's their only blemish of the final quarter, though. They've kicked straight until then. That's probably cost them in the end. I mean, they've had more scoring shots than the Crows. They've had way more inside 50s, but they didn't take their chances, and that's what's cost them in the end. Rayner gets the handball away. Fogarty eventually gets the handball to Murray, who gets tackled, dropped it, though, off the ground. Eventually gets to Wilmot, who kicks it back inside the forward 50. In the pocket, up goes Madden, but it's out on the full. You got to go now. Have a good sleep. Congrats on the win, man. We'll see you next time, Pastor. Matthew Nix is happy there. He's got a smile on his face. Great to see. In the middle of the ground, gets tackled well there from two Crows. And the Lions will take another stoppage. 8 seconds to go. The Adelaide Crows have played brilliant. McInerney knocks it down. Dunkley thumps it forward. Coming through with Zorko. He'll get a handball away to Dunkley, who gets tackled by Keys, who's been absolutely amazing. The siren will go at Adelaide Oval. And they've taken a massive win in round 11. Taken a major scalp. Great finish from the Adelaide Crows. The final scores 14-11-95 to Adelaide. Down the Lions 9-18-72. Thanks for watching the stream today, guys. It was a great game. I thought it'd be one of the games of the round, and to be honest, I think it was to an extent. The Crows played brilliant football, put themselves in the 8, and give themselves a genuine chance in the second half of the season to maybe make some finals for the first time in 6 years. But yeah, thanks for watching today, guys. I'll catch you in the next stream. New podcast will be out probably on Tuesday or Wednesday, so make sure to check that one out. But that's all from me, so goodbye.